Oh no!
I need to show you a video of me doing stand-up badly because you showed one last time. And 3,
I tried to, but I was just so talented.
I know, yeah, you tried to.
Just like intangible red flag territory. Like he's not saying anything specific,
interesting.
But like just as he's talking, you're like, do not be in a room alone with this man.
Yeah, 100%.
So we can all love each other. No.
All right, great. Okay, great. This is great. What about him is an intangible red flag? Is it a way he appears, way he talks, hand gestures?
Do you know what the word intangible means?
All right, I'm gonna go have a piss. Ashley, you're in charge.
I'm in charge. Bitches.
I went down on a juicy poozy, and
I got a fart, and this chair's gonna make it reverberate. Hey, wait! Hey!
Oh no! Everybody else,
Hey!
What's going on? I'm just waiting for music. I thought you were getting music. Oh, I thought you were just getting
how
music.
my penis gets born.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Here's a shed.
The ice cream cones came with a little metal packet that is just full of sugar. It's just full of sugar to be poured into the cones.
What has the Japanese not gotten a hold of, perfected, and then when everyone was like, "You did it," they went, "And now we'll begin." And you're like, No, you fixed it. It was fixed. Do not break it. Like, no, we got to break this.
I still have some more questions.
Go ahead.
John Hastings is on America's Got Talent for 5 minutes, and now he's got houses in LA and London.
That's right.
Yeah.
You kept a house in London?
Yeah, I've kept a house in London.
Update: not sugar.
There's no fluid tasting enough to warrant sucking it out of him. No, but it was did he do it when he was then in the band when they were the 4 Bee Gees that brief time before then his heart exploded?
Wow.
I'm not saying anything that didn't happen. That is what happened to him.
I'm a predator.
And it was going awesome. And we even started having drinks at a bar, and we each had girlfriends with us, whatever. We're having a great time until I got comfortable enough to go, hey, we share a birthday,
As someone who's been eternally single.
Go ahead. Is it your fault? Yes. No, sorry.
Stop tweeting after your dates, Ashley. Stop tweeting after your dates.
Oh, bad news, Paul. You're getting a Batman bet.
This is not bad news. I am so pleased.
Support them.
But you know what's more important than helping people's mental health?
Fuck you, John.
I'm just saying. Tom, you're a comedy fan.
Here's what happened. So I came up after she finished a couple times. I'm not one's not enough. You go for 2. That's how you start it out.
Smoother crunchy.
And then Jesus boom. And so when I emerged, I went to kiss her and she just grabbed my face and she sucked it all out of my beard.
So hurtful.
That's a literary reference. Oh no, I gotta.
Hey, he can't tie me out now. I'm the only one here. Books, pages. Right. Verb, noun, adjective. Nice. Someone get me that.
I'm very prone to bullying.
No, you're talking about Andy Gibb.
I am talking about Andy Gibb. Pardon me.
Get your Gibbs straight if you want to come at me, bro.
Sorry.
Those nice bearded men and their Aryan friends seem like they're doing very different shows.
Body legs touched on a nose. I tried to. It crawled away too quickly.
It's difficult with tea. Sometimes you try and tune it and you get Assam.
I'm officially declaring it. Jordan is the Governor General of the stream.
God damn it, guys. I took a Ritalin today. I can only focus on one thing at a time.
What is happening right now? 2 screens. I want to have 2 screens.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah. Paul and I were walking through the park, and we walked past the tennis courts. A ball had gone over the fence.
Chris, John, and Irish Ashley combine to make the ultimate team, better than any wet dream. Welcome to the Untitled Twitch stream. John's the CEO and Boomer. Ashley's the real leader. Chris brings the vibes and juices as our enjoyment increases. Welcome to the Untitled Twitch stream.
Oh, we're both.
The video
muted.
was so chunky. I thought we were still in the middle of the theme song. How's it going?
Not too bad. How's it going with you, Christopher?
Pretty good. Can you hear the air conditioning machine literally to my left?
No,
Oh,
I
good.
can't.
Cool.
Can
Then
you
I'll
hear
leave
the
it on.
crazy raging fan of my laptop?
Oh,
All good then.
nice. I moved my whole bedroom around, so now
Yeah.
it's still creepy. It looks like there's nothing on the wall. There's one picture. It's just behind me. There's a little like chair that I sit in to read in the light. But I have to have my curtains closed because otherwise it's a white balance nightmare is what it fucking is.
Yeah. White balance nightmare. I'm still in my little attic. This is my last night in my childhood home.
Oh no! Did they sell it? Is it gone? Is it over?
It's going to be gone. I'm going back to Scotland next weekend, but I'm in Waterford for the next week.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna be gone. It's gonna be gone.
How you feeling? Are you happy? By the way, everybody, this is our last show before the Edinburgh Fringe.
This is our
Let's all
last
have a
show
good
before the
time.
Fringe.
If
Yeah.
you have any questions that you want us to answer before we take a month off,
Oh, I'm so
let us
annoyed
to
at myself.
know.
I was gonna do one of those little question boxes on the Instagram stories, and I totally forgot about it. Oh, that's so annoying. I was gonna get field questions in before the show. It was gonna be great.
That's a good idea. Yeah, so get those in if you have anything that any unresolved questions that we haven't answered that we started with and then just walked away from because that's the nature of our show.
Yeah, we've got
Get
a
them
lot-
in.
A lot of unfinished thoughts.
A lot of them. You feeling good? Steve's saying to take a bunch of pictures before you go. Document
Oh, there's so
everything.
many photographs. There's so, and to be honest, now it's not even worth taking the photographs because there's none. Like, there's
Mm.
nothing in it.
You think so, but the imagination will refill those rooms. You take pictures of the empty rooms and you go, no, this went there, and that's where those books were, and that's where I
Sure.
accidentally peed in the corner that one night because I dreamt that I was in a bathroom, and memories.
Memories.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we have so many photos of this place. We've been in this place for 23 years. We have a lot of photos.
Okay.
So I think we've been kind of taking pictures here and there in the past few months. So yeah, it's a little bit odd, but also I don't really live here anymore either. So like I'm sleeping in my brother's old bedroom on a bed that's really uncomfortable, and
Yeah, but it's nice to have it there. Like I remember when my parents moved. By the
Yeah.
way, Ada, I'm so sorry that you got called into work. Have a good shift. Watch us on reruns. Also, we'll be updating. We'll be sending in little videos in the Patreon throughout the month, or in the Discord.
Yes, in the
So
Discord.
so you can catch some of those. Yeah, no, like I know that when my parents moved. Hey, it's John.
Hey!
He's in a nondescript British train station.
That's right, guys. My headphones are buried at the bottom of my bag, and I'm going to jump a train back to London. I just wanted to pop in and say I love you all. I think you're great, and I'm going to try and jump on if there's good reception on the train. I love you all. Also, I'm liking this new summer Chris look.
It's so hot. It's so wet more than anything. It's so fucking wet.
Oh, I love it. Speaking of things
Is
that are
it-
wet,
is
my
it
trousers
moist,
are.
Chris?
It certainly is,
It's,
actually.
I am moist head to toe right now. It is. I don't know if you can see my glisten, but so wet right now. It's that Zoolander would have been a much different movie if instead of so hot right now, they kept saying so wet right now. Hansel, so wet right now.
Now, here's my question, Chris. Are you gooey?
Not good? No, luckily not gooey. That would be worse.
Yeah.
Are you juicy?
Oh, I'm juicy as hell. I am juicy. Slick bets rather than piss bets. I'm gonna hop off because I just signed back into the thing so I can do the private chat, and I'll be right back. 2 seconds.
Cool.
Okay, I'll stay here until Chris gets back, and then I'll go.
Cool. How was
Here's my
your interview tonight, John?
It was very good. They were a bit tired and didn't laugh properly as much at 2 jokes, but I fixed the show finally. I would like to thank, by the way, all of the troggies that have popped into previews. For Alex has come out, Joe has come out. Someone else laughed at a UTS reference I riffed somewhere, and then I said, if you are a troggy, hang back, and then they didn't, so I don't know who that was, but if you are one of many non-part of the chat, please know I really, really appreciate you guys' support, and the show is finally finished. I figured out the ending yesterday. I read it today, and it is, it's good. Thank God.
That's exciting. I can't wait to see it.
How many times did John touch the back wall? John's showing. And Baldy, I will see you there. I look forward to reading your signs coming in from Kimmer's B. Oh, excited to see. During the oh, yes, I did. That is very true. I will tell that story on the Patreon because it's now raining and I have to catch my train soon. But I'm
okay. Go get your train.
No, it's fine. I have 3 minutes.
3 minutes is a bit fine though.
No, I have 3 minutes until I have 3 minutes until I have to I have 15 minutes until I need to get across Bristol Station. In theory, that's where I am. I mean, you could definitely just look at my social media and figure out exactly where I am. But so I'll tell you the story now and not even save it for Patreon. So I was trying to Chris, the code is not working. Ashley, can you bring him back on?
I'll bring him back on.
The code works. I'm signed in, but for some reason StreamYard won't acknowledge it. So I have no private chat access.
We are
There's
so
no private
slick.
chat. I had to sign out.
I love it.
I've been paying for StreamYard for like a year and just didn't notice because I had 2 accounts. I canceled one of them. I forgot that I had another one, and it had just been coming through.
I don't feel bad for you if you didn't notice you were paying for something for a year.
It's in my British account, so I don't check that very often. I pay attention to my Canadian account now, and I just went in to be like, I feel like I'm paying for some things, so I went in to cancel a bunch of accounts and was like, what the fuck is StreamYard still doing charging me? And I just forgot that I had one with this email address. So, god damn it. So there's no private chat today, guys. It's all you. It's all you. Right. We could do it in the Discord.
It suddenly rained so much, and my phone is comedically.
Yeah, we can't
all
hear
right,
you
have
very well.
Have a good one. Have a great Fringe. Bye.
Okay, we have a guest, and I want to say one thing before I bring our guest on. During the week, he's done very well on TikTok recently. And he called me a dinosaur for not being able to work TikTok very well. But in the same conversation, he started talking about his gout. So I don't know who the winner is there. This is Gary Millerick.
Hey.
Hello. Hey, everyone.
What's up, buddy?
How are you getting on? Yeah, the gout's been particularly bad recently. So, I've been concentrating on becoming, a TikTok star. I haven't actually done any TikTok videos about gout yet, but I think that will really send me into the stratosphere.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
that's something
exactly
that young people can really relate to is a man in his late 30s who eats too much meat.
Yeah, that's it's important they know it's important they know what's coming. I'll be like the Greta of gout. Be like, look, if you do not stop now, this is the future. This is the inconvenient truth and the hard facts.
I know so many people with gout.
Lockdown, baby.
More than any other disease among comedians, gout is taking us down like a bunch of fucking French
very
kings.
Prevalent. It's almost as if a certain lifestyle.
Yeah, right.
There might be something. Yeah. There might be something to that. Yeah, the sedentary driving around. It's bread-based, eating your meals from motorway service station. Having said that, I got it in lockdown, so that was when. Yeah. That was
Yeah,
that
that
was when
checks
I got
out.
it. So I can't
Yeah.
blame it on. Yeah, it was just.
I'd say that saw a spike in lockdown across the board as well, though.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Beer,
Yeah.
sandwiches, beef. I feel like you slow cooked a lot of beef. That's my assumption of your coping.
I didn't actually. I got the one thing I did in lockdown. I got really into baking bread, right? And so I was watching lots of you. I know lots of people did, but I was watching lots of YouTube videos on it, and then I got quite good at it, and then I realized this is available for less than £1 at the bakery, which is a 2-minute walk away. this is that like this is so stupid. This is such a ridiculous thing to become skilled at. Like, sorry anyone who's like particularly into baking, but it's pointless. There are bakers, human beings got into specialization. It's not more satisfying you do it at home. And I just had a real like, what are you doing?
like Adam Scott when in Parks and Rec when he makes that claymation video. He's like, I thought this was really good. I thought this was really good. It's this great like heartbreak moment where he goes into depression because he loses his job and he makes this tiny little claymation video and he thought it was like 10 minutes long. It's 4 seconds and it's got and you could just see his heart break in a moment. It's like a Ralph Wiggum moment. It's fucking beautiful, but yeah.
Yeah.
So how's the previews going?
I haven't done one since Thursday. So Thursday night went quite well. So I've got 4 more. If the cancellation gods, I think we'll be all right because the weather's like calmed down a bit now, so people can come out of their dwellings. I don't know how up on the heat wave you are, Chris, but everything exploded last. Yeah.
They were
everything
very
exploded for 2 days. We're not built for it. We're just not built for it.
No, too
I
much
just
gout.
saw everybody
Gout and
complaining, and I was in the west of Ireland, the east of Ireland, with fog and grey cloud, and I was just so pissed off at everybody for complaining.
No,
this
this
was the UK.
This wasn't nice weather. It wasn't like because we don't have the facilities to enjoy it.
No.
There's not like, let's go to all the nice areas. Like we're going to go to Tesco car park or whatever. There's not enough air conditioning.
You didn't want to go to Butlins? Just make a weekend of it? Hang out with people that I assume that you get along with really well? Just the Butlins crowd, just chilling, just crushing cans and smashing puss.
I've played Butlins now about 15 times.
I bet I did it once. I did the Minehead one.
Yeah.
And holy shit, did I bomb. They fucking hated me. They were so mad. And then Andy Askins came out and tore the roof off. They were like, this good British comedy. That's what we came for. Woof, they were mad at me.
Yeah, he's got a fucking bulletproof set.
He's awesome. That's not to demean Andy Askins.
No, not at all. He is lovely as well. And he came up to me. We were doing a 2-day thing at Butlins, and because he lives on the Isle of Wight and had to go home, he was like, "Oh, hey man, would you mind awfully if I went before you?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." It's absolutely ridiculous. I'd only been going a couple of years at the time as well. It was like it was in my first couple of years of professional bookings. Like going, hey, would you mind following one of the best acts on the circuit? And I go, oh yeah, no problem. So yeah, it was a nice 15 minutes of silence with that air of violence in the air.
Right. So Garrett, we've had to change things around. It's going to go Andy Askins. We're going to do Terry, and then we're going to have Phil Nickel, and then you. Is that all right? Do you mind?
Yeah.
Do you mind following 3 just standing ovations? Is that okay?
The building won't be standing, and then you get to go and mop up. Yeah, cool. No, it's exciting. So we lost John because John is now he's out in the rain
on a train.
He's on a train back to London. He was doing a preview with Pierre, so we're hoping that they'll call in from the train together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
sure.
That's fun. Were they out?
Yeah.
Was it Bristol?
I think so. That's what he said. He said Bristol train.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
I think Pierre said he was doing something in Bristol because I drove all the way back from Manchester to do this. Oh
wow.
This is my dedication. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
you're so dedicated.
Thank
Yeah.
you, man.
Well, I was at a music festival and it started raining, so I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah,
but like biblical rain, like proper
Yeah.
biblical.
Oh,
It was
I
chucking
love
it
Yeah, I
down.
went for a walk in the rain today, and I think we got like a lighter part of it, but very wet. Just soaked.
One of my favorite festival comedy memories was I drove out with Nico Yearwood, and I think it was maybe it was Isle of Wight Fest or something like that. And the whole time he's just like, why the fuck am I doing this? I hate camping. I don't like any of these bands. I don't want to be here. Fuck this. And as we got closer, it was just raining harder and harder and harder. He just got more angry the whole time. And we parked our car and we had to set up our tents while it was pissing rain. And somewhere in a fucking hard drive, I have a picture of Nico Yearwood, who's never set up a tent in his fucking life, just standing there with poles in one hand, a tarp in the other, and just like a Charlie Brown, just head down, fucking gray clouds to the horizon.
Me and Dan, a friend of mine and Chris's, we were at End of the Road Festival and we took Fern Brady and her lovely partner Connor to the festival with us, and we set up our tents, and it was dark when we got there, and we could just hear Connor trying to put a tent up while Fern stood there with a can of Foster's just fucking barking instructions at him, going, "No, I'm doing that right." And we were like done, and we looked at each other and go, we should go and help him. Yeah. So we went over to help Connor, and he was nowhere with the situation, and we were just putting the poles in for him, and Fern's like standing there barking orders, and she goes, "This is like what we're like at home." And Connor just looks at me and goes, "Except there's nothing to smash here." It was this really fantastic window in terms of relationship. Like you can really see how a couple operates when they're trying to put up a tent in the dark when neither of them have done it before.
Yeah, it's that and IKEA. Those are the two. Like, oh, this is who you truly are. Congratulations.
Yeah. I last weekend, Garrett, my folks are selling my childhood home. It's my last night in it tonight, and
brutal.
They don't have somewhere to go. They're gonna live in a van for the foreseeable future.
Oh shit, they're doing that.
What?
Did they watch Nomadland and it got out of hand?
There's just something about Frances McDormand shitting in a bucket that really appeals, you know?
Well, I spoke to somebody last week who was moving into a van, and I was like, "Oh, do you like Nomadland?" And they're like, "I've never even heard of it." And I was like, "Okay." And I was like, "Do you watch the YouTube channel Living Big in a Tiny Space?" And they're like, "What is that?" And I'm like going, "Oh, okay." You've none of you just got into this without any of the gateway drugs.
I like that. There's a purity to that.
Have researched the fuck out of this. And they're not. It's not indefinitely. They're just going to travel around in the van for a while, and then they're hoping at some point they're going to find somewhere to buy.
How old are they?
So my dad
60s?
is 60. My dad is 64. Yep. My mom is 58.
They're both 19 and they're just really looking forward to uni, but before that,
that's it. They'll have time to make money later, but they'll never be 19 in Europe again.
Yeah.
Where are they going to drive about?
So they're going down through France and they're aiming for the bottom of Spain. And they're kind of, my brother is in Palma in Mallorca, so they're kind of aiming towards him.
Okay.
Right.
Woof. Woof.
But,
they're gonna do 5
they're
days.
They're packing up a huge van.
Yeah.
With their stuff. There's 3 very, very large dogs going into the van with them.
Never
And
gonna last.
they've gotten this tent thing that like it has like an awning out of the van.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So they can like basically extend their living quarters when they set up, right?
Yeah.
And they've gotten these very impressive bed things. Like they're going really, really high end living in a van. But I had to last weekend when the weather was nice and everything, they kind of did a trial run setup. And I just did not get involved. I was just like,
did you learn a lot about your parents' marriage watching them set it up?
I learned a lot. I learned a lot.
Are you mentally prepared for the 99% certainty that your parents will be divorced in a week?
Yeah.
Cool, good. As long as
Yeah,
you're
I mean,
ready.
living in a van is gonna. See, my wife absolutely loves the YouTube channel Living Big in Tiny Spaces, and she spends a lot of time looking at YouTube videos and stuff about, people who've like got an eco shipping container in the forest, and they're like, "This is gonna be great." And she has this dream that one day we could do it, but like we're two of the messiest people. Like there's no way, and we find it difficult to leave the house with just one bag. We got a baby now, and the baby's got like a food thing and a nappy thing, and and every time the baby leaves the house, it's completely unnecessary, just piles of shit in the pram, and you're just like, we can't pack a pram. There's no way we could live in a shipping container in the woods.
No. Also,
and we're both
Oh, sorry.
Well, I was just going to say we're both quite lazy as well. So all these things that goes, it's like, oh, and then we have to go out and get our wood, and then we have our composting toilet, and you're like, no.
No, that's vans are the new houseboats. I had like a 5-year period where a bunch of my like hippie friends were like, I'm getting out. I'm gonna live in a houseboat. And every single one of them after 6 months is like, fuck houseboats. This is a nightmare. Everything needs fixing. There's no space. I hate my neighbors. Drunk people piss on my boat when they fucking walk down to the canal.
I'd not considered that before, is it?
No.
Of course they do.
Yeah, right.
It's like once you say it, it's really obvious, but you wouldn't think of it.
Yeah, it's not. It's so fun in theory. Like I don't know if you guys ever watched Highlander, the TV show, but there was a whole season where he lived on a houseboat on the Seine, and I was like 8, and I was immediately obsessed with living in a house. I'm so glad that my friends did it first, so I can be like, oh, not for me. Good. This is a fucking nightmare.
There was a really nice comic who lived in Bristol. What's his name? Tony.
Oh, Tony C.
Yeah.
I stayed on that boat.
Right, yeah. And he was sort of telling me, he goes, yeah, it's nice. He goes, he rents DVDs. He's the last person, this is like 3 years ago. He's telling me, I rent DVDs. And I was like, where from? And he's like, oh, this it's Bristol. So this, yeah. Last time I went to Bristol, I parked my car up and I was walking to the venue. And on the way to the venue, I saw 4 40-year-old men skateboarding. And then I had to walk up some stairs, and there was a shop selling VHS. And I was just like, just fucking try harder.
Yeah. A friend of mine recently, I was hosting a show, and I brought a comic on stage called Nigel Grinstead. And the first thing he said, he's like, doesn't Chris look like the kind of guy who tries skateboarding once a year and gets really badly hurt?
Yeah.
Ow. Like, that was accurate. Fuck.
Like Hastings and cycling.
Yes.
Except Hastings also got a skateboard.
Yeah, you got a longboard. Yeah.
Oh, somebody must take the skateboard away from him immediately. That's not. We worry about
first.
That was our reaction, but unfortunately we're in different continents and can't really stop it.
Although there's something very funny about the visual of him in like just like short shorts, like the new like male booty shorts that are everywhere. A Hawaiian really shirt with nothing on. But then also those wrist guards with the little like plastic. How do I get this angle right? There we go. That like bumps out. So you do that.
Yeah.
There's just something about him wearing those that's very funny to me. And that alone is worth it. I just want him to look like he got carpal tunnel syndrome from working at a Tesco for 12 years.
Well, I started skating last year. Was it last year or was it 2 years ago? I don't even remember. Time is irrelevant.
I think it was a year ago.
Yeah, and then I injured my foot walking and couldn't skate for however many months, and then all my stuff is in storage. But I'm going to do it again when I get back.
We all had lockdown hobbies that we haven't picked up. Yes, everybody's
origami. I folded so many fucking swans.
Just once. You didn't try anything more adventurous.
No, because like by the time I got good at the swans, I was like, fuck this. This is it. That was my like I did it once. This is not calming me down. I hate this. I'm gonna do it because I'm stubborn, and then I'm out. No frogs. None of that shit.
See, I got
how to play origami, and now he's divorced. Correct.
how to play the Beatles with 4 chords, but I couldn't.
Yeah, I couldn't. I got a Beatles fucking guitar book too.
couldn't master the 4 chords. Then I got gout and my left hand stopped working, so I was like, nah, you're too old. Oh, there's a comments. There's a comments just came up. Hastings has a longboard now.
Oh yeah. On the left, there's that bunch of comments. You can scroll down through them there.
Yes. Yeah, there's loads of comments. There's people watching us live, Garrett. Fancy that.
Oh, actually, one of the comments I saw earlier, and I've got Bluetooth on. I'm gonna get a beer from my fridge, but someone brought up an ARG Fest preview of your show, Garrett. Did something particularly big happen at ARG Fest, or was it just a normal preview that meant a lot to this person? Oh, Alex,
okay. What? Talk about ARG Fest, please. I teched that. The cunts and dead, all 9 of them. Yeah. It was just one of those classic previews. So ARG Comedy Festival, for those of you who don't know, is a lovely the audience were cunts and dead. Yeah. I don't know if they were cunts, but they were dead. They were so dead, and there was 9 of them. So it was one of these ARG Comedy Fest was lovely, and I've done every single one of them but one, and I normally perform in the afternoon. And Pax asked me, he was like, "Can you go on at 9 on the Saturday?" And I was like, "Yeah, okay," sort of in the last slot.
It's like eating into your fucking pocket though, late night Saturday.
Yeah, and also it was my best friend's 40th birthday, so I went to the birthday barbecue in the afternoon and then drove into Shoreditch, and everyone's in the green room going, "We had such a nice time," and they give you like biscuits with your face on, and we're like, "Oh god, this is twee and lovely," and it's always one of those like quite nice previews. So I I sort of went in, and Claire, who was running the show, was like, "There aren't many of them," and it was like, "Yeah, okay." And then those of them who were there had been watching comedy since lunchtime, so they'd been on since 12, just watching all day. So they came in and.
Man, that's too long. That's insane.
Way too long.
Some comedy fans are too dedicated, and they need to fucking stop.
Yeah. So they like, and then some of them, there was on 3 sides. You could have sit 100 people in this room, and there were like 9 of them, and then 3 of them insisted on sitting off to the side. It's like, could you all just sit together so I don't have to, turn around in a
so annoying.
Well, they're like, no, and it was hotter than the sun. So yeah, I did. So. Whoever was on here that was doing the tech for that. What a show. What a show that was. That was, as I said to them at the end of it, nobody could say that it wasn't 50 minutes long. It was.
Oh, God.
There's something so like disheartening when you walk into a room before a show, and even if it's full, like no matter how many people are in it, if it's like 6 people, 100 people, but there's like no conversation. They're all just sitting in silence with their friends and loved ones. And you go, I'm about to bomb for a fucking hour. This is going to be a nightmare.
There's nothing more delicious than bombing for an hour. Yeah. Because if you remove all of the context from what it is you're doing, it's so awful.
Yeah.
50. Someone says 50 minutes probably felt like a year. Yeah, I mean, it's not that it feels like a year. It more feels like the bereavement of losing a pet. That's the level of like heart rip where you're like, I have to. I don't find it like it feels like a long time. It just feels really heavy. Where you're just like, I have to go through, and these are all like they're well crafted things that you kind of love a little bit, and they're new, so they're sort of precious to you, and you want them to kind of fly out into the world, and you just know you're just throwing them in a bin for 50 minutes in front of people while people stare at you, and you can't like stop and go like, this bit 3 weeks ago in Liverpool, I couldn't follow it because they were clapping so much. You just got someone who's been there going, I see 9 hours of comedy today. And it's like, it's not designed like that. It's supposed to be a fun sort of respite from life, not a Sisyphean task.
Absolutely.
You have to get through.
It's
And
like those
it's like
people who get the Edinburgh Fringe Guide, and they're like, "I've got my show planner, and we're going to see 200 shows in 5 days." It's, you're an idiot. That's not what.
You're not
That's
going
not
to
what it's
enjoy any of
for.
them. You're not going to remember any of them.
No.
Yeah.
And they get to the point then where they're like, they've got that cynical comedian thing where like they're not laughing anymore. They just go, "That's funny."
Yeah.
It's just like an acknowledgement. No, that was a good joke. That was really well written. I had zero laughter left in my life, but man, that was very good. Fuck.
Like I've just been at a music festival. They're like the people who go along to the music festival with their own fold-out chair, and they're like, you see people last night for Mogwai. We're like, no, I got my fold-out chair and I'm going to sit down. You're like, okay,
what?
Get involved. Like, no.
I saw Mogwai and it was practically like a religious experience. Like they were so fucking good.
Oh,
I saw at Glastonbury instead of watching Metallica, and
yeah, quite right.
And I nailed it. I talked to friends of mine that went to the festival just to see Metallica, and they were like, Metallica phoned it in, it was terrible. And I was like, Mogwai, if they had closed with Jesus is the one true savior, I'd be like, I guess I'm Catholic now. I guess that's what this feeling is. Holy shit.
Yeah, it was. Last night was. It was a life affirming experience. But some people watched it in small camping chairs,
just with a flask of tea.
Yeah, there was this mad Scottish guy who at the end just kept standing next to me, kept going, "Yes, mate, yes," and I went, "Yeah, man, it's great." And he was like, "Yes." He's like, "This is the last one." So I was like going, "So we're gonna listen to this?" And he's like, "This is so good." And it's just like, yeah. Do you know what it didn't need? You yelling in my ear. Stop it.
I don't
I'm
remember
really pleased
hearing
you're
you on
enjoying
the
this
album.
Yeah, I'll share all the love with you. This is great. It's amazing. But do
you guys have this where, like, I know that I have this, and I find that it's common among comedians, where guys like that, who everyone else knows to avoid, will gravitate towards you.
Yeah.
I think there's something about comedians where we attract these people, and I don't know why, but they will like find us and just be like, all this fucking interaction that everyone hates me for, you're gonna just eat it. You're gonna take it this whole concert, and I know you're not gonna leave.
I get that, but with pervs.
Okay.
Lovely. Someone's just talking in the chat box about Coke being a great drug. This guy was not on Coke. He was on ecstasy. He had a lot of ecstasy. Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
God bless him. Yeah.
I saw a guy last night on Coke. It was great. It was so obvious, you know.
Yeah.
And it was an Irish pub, so there was children around, and there was
no one else on Coke. Just this
5-year-old. There was a
dude
5-year-old
solo?
in the bar until gone midnight, and I was just like, "Well, that's fully illegal." And then I'm pretty sure I saw their dad wrangling them, and he's just holding a baby, a full baby, in a bar where there's a rock band playing and a tiny little guy doing cocaine over there. Like,
nice.
No.
Right.
They had the festival was at
which one was
those
it?
Little Blue Dot.
Beautiful.
I got to meet,
that's fucking fun,
I got to meet
man.
I got to meet Tim Peake, which was pretty cool.
Why do I know that name?
The astronaut,
The astronaut. That's it. Oh, that's fucking.
Yeah.
Oh
That's so
man,
cool.
and for you especially. I mean, Ashley. By the way, Garrett, can you side with me on this?
Yeah.
Ashley doesn't give a shit about space. She is not interested in space at all, and that is exactly. Thank you.
It's not that I'm not interested in it. I'm very interested in it. I just want to go there.
This is my Lego Saturn 5.
It was Garrett loves space so much that when so I used to drink at his house a lot after shows, and he would always get very drunk and then give me a book. He would say, "This you have to read. That's the lunar module. That's great."
I built this.
Oh my god, Gary, you're such a dork.
And one of the books,
goddamn right.
One of the books Garrett drunkenly handed to me was Chris Hadfield's autobiography.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
do you
Yes.
remember this as a thing? You would.
I
would
absolutely
drink at your
do,
house, you
and
would-
I remember you
would
like
always
2 days
give me
later.
books.
But you, with that book, you'd read them as well. I was forever giving
course.
people books. It's because we had
Yeah.
all those bookshelves in the hallway when people are leaving.
Yeah.
Like, please take a book. You must take a book. We have too many of them. But yeah, I'd read that and thought it was fantastic because I'm really interested in space, and I like Chris Hadfield, so I really enjoyed that book. And I think you came back to me and were like, yeah, it's very sort of self-helpy in like astronomy, which it is. He's just like, well, when I found out I was going to Russia, you know what I did? I learned Russian. So if you're going to do something, like, do it well. And I'm sitting there like with a McDonald's in one hand, reading this, going, I love you, and I could never be you.
Yeah, he's like a manageable Tony Robbins, where everything's just like, do it to the best of your ability. I was a test pilot because I believed in myself, and you should believe in yourself because you're great. Anyways, next. I was like, this is great, but also please stop encouraging me. It's making me uncomfortable.
Chris Hadfield is very famous in Ireland in the past couple of years because he so there was the toy, I think it was only the most recent toy show actually, or maybe it was the one before that. There was a little boy on the show. And Garrett, do you know what the Late Late Toy Show is?
Yes, I have been told. I think you might have told me the last time we were on. The last time I was on this,
it comes up on the show a lot.
It comes up a lot. Did we show you the Jerry Seinfeld B movie, most uncomfortable interaction on television?
No.
Oh, it's a classic.
It's a classic.
Great.
I highly recommend looking that up. But yeah, Chris had a little boy Adam was on the toy show, and he's like got debilitating illness, and he loves space. He's obsessed with space, but he's just like, I'll never be able to go to space, but I want to be one of the guys on the ground. I don't know. He like knows this job title, and he's only like 4 years old, and everybody's
controller.
Just sure that one.
The one who tears off his headset and throws it on the ground when something goes wrong. That guy. Yeah.
They're known for doing that. They hire them if they've got anger problems.
The whole country just melted at this poor kid being so like accepting of his condition, that united as a country, all of Ireland just tweeted Chris Hadfield to like come on the show and talk to this little boy, and he did.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, very cute.
Yeah, if any of you are wondering who Chris Hadfield is, he's the one who sang Space Oddity. Was it Life on Mars?
No, Space Odyssey.
It was just Space Oddity. Yeah, on the space station, which is like incredible. And I think he may be the person who spent the most time on the space station. Is that right?
No, I don't think he just did a standard. I think
I thought he'd been like 2 or 3 times or something. I thought he'd been a couple times, but I might be confusing with someone else.
No, he's done 2 shuttle missions and a stint on the space station. He commanded the space station for a period of time.
Dude's awesome. Ned Flanders mustache, still a cool guy. Tough to pull off.
100%. 100%. Yeah. He's a dude. But obviously Tim Peake now is my favorite because I've met him.
Because you
there
met
you go.
him.
Yeah,
sure.
Met him. He was very charming. Yeah.
Did you
was
get
a highlight
bashful?
Of the week.
I can't imagine you bashful.
No,
okay, yeah.
I extended my hand like a gentleman, said, Mr. Peake, thank you for that. That was a really inspirational talk. And he said, oh, thank you very much. And then I let him get on his way because he was there with his children.
Oh, that's nice. Because I remember I've told this, I'll keep this short because I've said it on stream before, but I was there when Pierre met Adam Buxton for the first time.
Right.
And the day before, he'd been telling me at length what a huge Adam Buxton fan he is, and how much the Adam and Joe show meant to him and all this kind of stuff. And then we were sitting it was at End of the Road, and he was doing Bug there. And we were just sitting in that little artist area, just drinking beers at the on a picnic table. And Adam Buxton just walked over and sat down with us and was like, hi, how's it going? And I watched big, sort of confident, voluminous Pierre Novelli, just so tiny, just got like, it was the most charming thing.
Yeah, there are those people like God rest his soul, but like if I'd ever met Douglas Adams, I would be like that. Definitely. There are those people that kind of, like shaped you.
Yeah.
I met John Lloyd a couple of years ago at Edinburgh, and he was because Oh, we've got someone else joining the stream.
Oh, Ashley, put your parents on screen. Put your parents on screen. Give us your van dwellers.
Thank you. Good night.
She's getting brought
Anyways,
drinks.
Sarah,
This is
yeah.
I forget myself.
I had to. So my
Mm.
dad delivered my dog,
Oh, lovely.
and also opened my bottle of water that has been sitting here the whole show without me being able to open it. I'm very
Well,
weak.
it's good to have help.
Did you ever open that bottle of vodka? Or
No,
gin?
it's still there.
Incredible.
Open it.
Incredible. Incredible.
I'm gonna have it in my bag at the Fringe, and I'm gonna get somebody to open it for me because I can't open it.
It's your sword in the stone.
You should get a water bottle that you can open. My daughter's 18 months old. We've got a number of them that she's mastered. I can some of where they're like the product line. I'll bring some up to town.
I have like a device thing at home in Scotland. I have this leverage machine thing that when I can't open something, it has like various different grooves, different sizes for different lids, and you just put it on.
Oh, yeah,
and then
yeah,
it
I've
gives you
seen those.
leverage.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Like a wrench. Like a
Yeah.
soccer
Yeah.
wrench. Yeah.
But
okay.
it's got all of them on the one thing, and they look
Mhm.
like it looks like those things you can measure pasta with.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. You know, for people who can't do the 10p thing.
The
10p.
10p
Oh,
thing.
is that how much spaghetti you use? Is like a 10p coin?
Yeah.
I just throw it in, and then I either regret it or I regret it.
Yeah.
It's either too much or too little, and that's life, baby.
Yeah, I don't like
Yeah.
I don't like measuring things. I don't like doing things with spoons and things like that. And always with coffee and sugar and things. I just shake it until it looks right.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I'm an eyeballer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
renegades.
Yeah.
And then you taste. Just see if it tastes right, you know?
See if it tastes right. Yeah,
Mhm.
but you can only fix that in one direction, really.
Yeah.
Saltier.
If you put too little in. Then...
So I was talking to there's a surprise. So I'm in Toronto right now, obviously, and there's a surprising number of Toronto comics that are going up to the Fringe, and a few of them are going for the first time, and I couldn't bring myself to tell them about the bad parts because that's not my business. They can find that out for themselves.
They haven't heard about the app. Oh, the app. They said they're going to the Fringe. You went, oh, the app.
Yeah. I didn't even think of that. I just wanted to be like, just make sure you have something to deal with your depression in the third week, that kind of stuff. Just like
I nearly got killed the other day in a conversation between some people were passionately talking about the app, and I said, I was like, oh yeah, it was kind of news to me, and they were like, it was news to all of us, and I was like, no, I didn't know there was an app.
Right? I had no idea that people were using it. I didn't know it meant so much to anyone. I thought it was like
people are there. Like I don't ask them why or how they came. I presume the student I was giving £12.50 an hour to go and shovel pictures of my face around the place has done their job. I didn't know it was all being done by an app.
I always ask who came because of my flyers because I want to know if it's working or not. And and sometimes it's no one, and then I fire someone.
And you totally this is probably news to people on the stream because you do not scan as the sort of person who would fire anyone. Or
Except
I don't really
you
fire
do
one.
scan as the sort of person to not piss. Actually, I was about to say something, and then at the beginning of this show, you said that you've been accidentally paying for StreamYard for a year, so never mind.
Yeah, I'm real bad with money. One of my flyers in 2019, Andrew Maxwell's kid was one of my flyers in 2019,
Right.
and I came up and I was like, "Hey, buddy, what are you doing?" He was just standing there looking at this bird, and he was like, "I'm trying to teach this crow to say your name, so that when it flies around, it'll be advertising for you." And I was like, I mean, that's fucking hilarious, and I love you forever as a result. But also, could you just hand out
Not-
flyers, please? Can you
Yeah.
just describe my show to people? Because it's not helpful. It's fucking hilarious
It's the
and
most
very creative.
self-explanatory
Jesus.
job you could get. How
Yeah.
do you not know how to do it?
Actually, I just noticed. So this T-shirt, I was flyering in this T-shirt in 2012.
Nice. Yeah.
And it's Paul Simon Graceland live in Hyde Park from his 2012 performance of that, which had happened, I don't know, about 3 weeks before the Fringe. So I was out flying, and this guy came up to me and he pointed at me and went, "That's the best thing I've ever seen." And I was like, "Oh, thank you." And then I was flying for an hour, like a real spring in my step, saying, "Come and see my show." I was like, "Well, that guy thought it was the best thing he'd ever seen." And then I went into the Pleasance Dome for a pee, and I was washing my hands, and I was like, he meant Paul Simon.
Yeah.
No, I was like, yeah, he definitely meant Paul Simon. Which, to be fair, was a better show than my 2012 stand-up show. But it was the most fucking ridiculous thing. For an hour, I was like, do. It's just crushing. Usual Suspects moment in the toilet mirror. I was like, oh.
I think the most humbled I've ever been at the Fringe was I just done a great show, just one of those shows where everything clicked, it was sold out, everything was rocking, and I was like, I feel good. And then I went to the Pleasance because a bunch of my friends were going to be at the
I think I know the story.
whatever the industry one is. And I went, before I went, I really had to piss, so I went down the stairs into the bathroom. And I went to take a piss, and in the urinal was one of my flyers.
Yeah. I've had that.
And I was just standing there, and I was like, I'm here now. The universe did this, so I just pissed on my own face. After I was like,
I've had a piss. I've had a piss on my own face. It really, like, it's the
grounds
whole.
you.
Yeah. God bless Edinburgh. We're still really looking forward to it. So yeah, the previews are going really well.
So
and someone on the chat going, talk about that awful preview we had.
Right.
How are the previews going? Talk about the awful one. Talk about the one where you had to drive home with that like feeling in your stomach. And I think they said, Nat Metcalf liked it. Yeah, Nat Metcalf, who was a lovely, lovely man, he watched it, and he sent me a really lovely message about it the next day. In that, he was able to see the struts and the intricate weaving and everything that were not, on that evening, a construction. But he was like, I sure like the design. Like, thanks, man.
That's right. Just because it didn't land doesn't mean it's not a great plane.
Yeah.
Well, that's what previews are for.
Yeah,
Sure.
You've got to, you gotta, have some fuck ups.
Have you had to cut a joke that you love that just doesn't work? Is there a joke that should be in the show, or have you kept it even though it doesn't work because you're like, fuck you, I love this?
There's one that I've got about I've got 4 days to make it fly.
Nice.
But it's risky doing this on the internet without the context that goes around it. But I posit the notion that straight white male billionaires are the only people in society worth following, in terms of them being like modern prophets, for the giggle. And there's a line in it where I say that I think it's just an age thing. I said straight white male billionaire like the band Genesis. Sure, if you look at their entire oeuvre, there is much there that is questionable, but we all love their greatest hits, whether you'll admit it or not. You're using Amazon and that sort of stuff. And there's my favorite joke that every year I've submitted it a couple of times for the best jokes of the festival. Nobody grasps on me because it's appeared in 9 or 10 of those lists since 2012, and it is a joke that
I love that.
It's a joke that's never worked on stage, but it always gets printed in those lists. So the joke is, I invented the self-fulfilling prophecy. It probably won't go anywhere, but still, right? Which is one of those jokes. It doesn't work. It doesn't work when you say it out loud, but you put it down on
But
paper.
it's very clever.
And
yeah.
it's very wry,
Yeah.
and it's one of those things where somebody like compiling jokes will be, oh, that's good. It even made it into the Telegraph during lockdown.
Oh wow.
I don't know how, but this is the little joke that can, in that it is not a functioning joke. It's just a wry little, aren't I clever? And the best thing about it is I didn't write it. My friend Tim did when we were writing together, I'm pretty sure. And he was like, he noted this down, and it was in a show that we co-wrote together. And so I think Tim is immensely proud that this this thing he just ran off in an afternoon. We were like, that doesn't work. It doesn't work anywhere. But yeah, it's been in the Telegraph, the Independent, the Times, Broadway Baby. It's been all of them, and it will. This is probably my last Fringe, so it will mean a lot to me if that joke gets another run out this summer.
One last time, get the streak. I had one joke that made it in, and it was such a like 50-50 line that it worked, or people like were mad at me for saying it, and it's so inoffensive. But it was for my first ever hour, and it was about fighting, and I said fighting is I look at fighting the same way I look at physics. I can't do it, but I respect its ability to solve problems.
Yeah,
and that's like, it's very silly. It's just a stupid thing, and because the whole joke was pro fighting. It was a pro violence joke, which this podcast is, by the way. UTS, where violence is sometimes
violence
an
the answer. Oh, I said the words all the wrong way, but sure.
But
yes, violence is sometimes the answer. That's great.
But yeah, they don't. It's so. I was reading a book of Steve Martin's essays, like silly, funny essays the other day, and I was just sitting in this nice cocktail bar, like laughing out loud to myself, reading Steve Martin's essays while drinking a martini, and I was like, I think this might be the most pretentious I've been in quite a while. And but
lean into it, Chris.
Lean in.
Middle-aged divorcee.
Energy.
Yeah.
I was wearing this as well. Just
it suits your vibe lately.
Yeah, that's right. I got new glasses. I got fucking this guy just reading his Steve Martin essays and drinking a dry gin martini with a twist. Ooh, baby.
I can see you with one of those little not bowler hats, but like
a fedora, because that's rude.
Yeah. No. Because
not
you
a fedora.
You put the glasses on, you look a little bit like a newsman or like a lecturer who works with Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
but like just in the university.
That's right, and I'm jealous because none of the students want to fuck me. God,
yeah. You're there in the archive with all of the files and stuff, pulling things out from.
I'm the one that does the real work. This asshole's out here killing Aboriginals, not me. Me. I'm doing research.
So, Chris, are you missing the notion of the Fringe this year?
No, but only because I don't have a show. So like, because my album was recorded a few months ago, and there's been like a bunch of fucking setbacks with that. The recording's great. It's just the getting it out has been a fucking nightmare. And also the
have you done your Pandora liners?
Weighed heavy. And so I just haven't written anything. But lately I've started writing again. I went to therapy for the first time last week, and it helped.
Oh. So, yeah, we want to talk about that.
Which, by the way, so I'm doing BetterHelp because I'm poor, and my therapist like messages me in the middle of the week. We're gonna meet on Monday mornings, and he sent me 2 messages so far this week, just being like, "Hey man, just checking in. Hope you're doing well." I'm like,
I hate that.
Shut
it.
I don't
the
like
fuck
this.
down. That is so
I really
annoying.
like him. He's a very sweet, affable Southern man in his 70s. And good laugher, which I really like. And the comedian in me also was like kicking up because 3 times during our appointment, he went, "Oh, that's good. I'm going to use that." And I was like, dope. Therapy's the best. This is very good.
So you got a 70-year-old man just plagiarizing your shit.
And I'm into it. I'm fully into it.
This is
my
great.
therapist is the other way around. Like, I take lines from my therapist.
Yeah.
I'm not going to therapy because I'm not pulling on this thread. This is this
I
is what it
started
is, and I'm
going-
pretty sure this is a huge Jenga tower of nonsense. And if we start removing bricks,
Yeah. I started therapy when I was 14,
Right.
and I've had the same therapist for 14 years.
Mhm.
And he's a little old man in I want to say his 60s from Kerry, and he's gas. He's absolutely gas. But there was when I started doing comedy, I was talking to him about like trying to write material, and I mentioned that I was struggling to write anything that wasn't to do with sex. And he said, "Yeah, we tend to find humor in that which we lack." And I was just like, that is a solid burn.
Ouch. Ouch.
Yeah.
Damn. that's something you say to someone who heckles you. That's not
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to
that's
take
a
my
slap.
dog. I'm gonna have to take my dog out. She's like potentially about to shit, so I'm gonna need to. I'll be back in
Okay,
a minute.
I'm going to tell Chris about the time that I went to therapy to get away with a terrible lie that I told.
Oh, I'm
Great.
so sad to miss that story. I'll be back.
So yeah, I decided to. This is terrible. When I was 18, no, what was I? 20? Yeah, I was 20. I went off with a friend of mine. I just sort of left university without telling anyone where I was going, because me and my friend Sam were like, we're gonna go and get drunk and chop wood for his grandma in this place in the woods in Wales. We're like, that'll be good. So I just got arseholed and then sort of forgot to hand in any of my essays or do any of my coursework. So they came back and they were like, we're going to throw you out of university. And I was like, dear, yeah, that would be a problem. Everyone would be very angry.
Very angry.
Yeah. So rather than do that, I was in the pub one night with a friend, and he was like, you could say you were depressed because you're a student and they won't touch that with a 10-foot barge pole. And I was like, that's a really good idea. So I went in and went, I'm very sad, and that's why I haven't done any work. And they went, we completely understand. We will give you the opportunity to complete the work, and you just have to go and see this lady who helps with people being sad. So I went and spoke to her for like 4 weeks and told her how sad I was. And then she wrote the university a letter going, he's very sad. And they went, yeah, you can carry on.
How
Whereas
much? Where did it go from being like a lie to I'm actually talking about things that I'm genuinely sad about now? At any point, or was it all
no.
Great. That's great. That's like how like a lot of my
She didn't
friends that
get-
were girls in high school would say that they were on their period for gym class.
Right,
And they
right.
would
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
I don't want to do this. I always thought that was a trope, and then I talked to my friends. They're like, I did that shit all the time. Fuck. All right. I'm glad you got away.
Yeah, it was a
with
version of that. Yeah. So I got to retake my exams and all of that. So that was fine. It was, it was needs must. So I have a 2-2 in history and politics, which I've never used because of that. So
have you not? I would argue that your comedy draws wildly from it. Also, great bar chat as a result. You know?
Yeah, true.
Most of this industry is just talking to people while drinking. So
there are some amazing comments we're getting here. It's interesting comments.
I missed a uni exam to go to the Scottish Cup final, but who holds exams on a Saturday? Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Yeah. What is a shitting dog? Oh, okay, because Ashley took her dog out to shit. I just thought a shitting dog would be on brand for this stream, and I was like, where the fuck would that even come from?
What a mean thing to say.
No, it's I wasn't even offended at we essentially Ashley came on this stream basically from telling us stories of times that she shit and puked on herself.
The last time I was here, I told the story about shitting in my garden. I think I was asked to, and then
that's right.
Yeah. And then I kept trying to do that the story about the pig and the barbecue on stage, and it's one of those things. keep putting it in the show and then taking it out of the show. And I decided definitively 2 weeks and take it out of the show. And I just said to my director, it's a podcast story that pops up in the middle of a stand-up show. And he was like, that's exactly what it is. Yeah. They're different things.
Which director you work with now?
I'm still working with Dan.
Oh, nice one.
Yeah. So we had the little break because of the old pandemic, and then we had to come back and work out how to do shows again. So I've got this.
How's your dynamic with him? Because like I never worked with a director. I had Paul Byrne. I would bring in the last month because he was a friend, and I would just send him a message and just go, "Is my show bad?" And he would come and watch the show and he'd be like, "No, it's very good. And here are some things that could be better." But it was like, that was like how I would ask, like, if we were doing a preview together, I'd be like, "Can you give me some notes afterwards?" Or like Tim Renko used to come in. Paul Duncan McGarity gives incredible notes, like really fucking good preview notes.
He's used to digging around and stuff and finding gems.
Damn, I like that. But I'm so fucking like precious about my stand-up that like I can write other things. I can write like shows with like screenplays or sketches or whatever with people. But my stand-up, I'm so fucking precious that the idea of working with a director actually makes me like kind of angry. So how does your dynamic work with it?
Well, he comes to see shows and then we talk through sort of structure and bits and. Because I ended up with like 90 minutes of stuff. So half of it's been kind of trying to work out what it's about and get a theme down. Oh no, Chris, it wasn't all good stuff. It wasn't like 90-minute pile of gold. It was more like, how the hell do we get this down into some sort of form? We talk through the gear. He's a very good, because he has worked front of house for eons now and seen thousands and thousands of shows. He is a very, very, very good like first audience member. So if you are getting into like tics or doing stuff, like he used to tell me off when he come to the cabaret, and if I was emceeing or if I was doing a set at any time and I asked like the MC, I was like, how much time have I done? And he'd be like, I hate it when comics do that. He was like, I hate it when they ask how much time they've done. I hate it when they reference it's the job and they talk about it in those terms. It was like, it's a magic trick. Don't go up in the middle and just be like, oh, fuck. You know, it's like a magician being like, oh, has anyone seen my wand? It's just like,
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
I know that Gareth Waugh has repeatedly told me he hates when people like essentially break the fourth wall, you know, and kind of say, oh, the last time I told this joke, and it kind of ruins the vibe of this is all off the top of my head thing.
I hate that specifically because it's such a bitch move. It's just like, well, that normally works. Shut the fuck up. Like I hate that. But I'm a big fan of
remember somebody doing it at Hills's Muse Moose competition. This guy just turned around and went, that got a round of applause at the Comedy Caf last night. And then somebody just went from the audience, we're not at the Comedy Caf anymore.
That's excellent. I had a bit where I spoke about the fact that this did I glitch?
You glitched, but we caught up.
Glitched.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I had a bit where I used to speak about the fact that this particular joke got 2 formal complaints against a comedy club. And so I made a joke out of that, but I've sort of kind of become a bit like, oh, am I doing that thing? And breaking the fourth wall. So I haven't done it for a little while, and it's frustrating because it's one of my favorite jokes. But yeah, I'm still like trying to rework it and see if I can make that happen without acknowledging that the joke is something I repeat every time I get on stage.
Right.
You know,
but there are ways of doing the fourth wall thing that are really fun.
Some people really pull it off.
That's Jimmy Carr's act.
Mm-hmm.
Is the checklist and that kind of stuff, and then why can't I remember his last name? Terry Alderton. he's got like the alternate voice, which is like the guy in the back of his head telling him
his
some
head.
shit.
Yeah.
Jim Gaffigan does it, where he gives voice to the audience, who's like, "Is he really going to tell 4 minutes of bacon jokes?" And and so like it can be done, and like
It
I really
can
like.
be done. But I'm
like
I'm doing kind
We
of
would
anecdotal
just
stuff, so I'm definitely acknowledging that, oh, this is scripted,
Yeah.
you know, and it's a bit less.
Oh, so it lives in that uncanny valley of like, oh, this is like an honest moment, but also I've written a joke because I created this honest moment, and they're aware of both, and so
exactly,
you just have to
it's
write
that
the
thing,
line.
and Gareth made me aware of that, and I rewrote a different joke because of it as well, because I had another joke. I don't actually remember which joke it was, but I rewrote it and it worked better because of it, and I was like, all right, okay.
I'm a big fan of when you're trying out new stuff. Like one thing that I really miss, I'm not jealous of, and I think this is just the phase that I'm in with my writing right now, is I'm not jealous of people doing the Fringe. I'm jealous of people doing previews. I want to do a run of previews, and I just want to chuck new stuff out. I just have an hour to fucking play.
You realize you could do that without doing the Fringe.
No, Canada's
Chris,
not.
I'm going to drive
Canada
to.
doesn't
I'm
have
going to.
that culture.
I'm going to drive to Leicester on Wednesday to perform to 6 people. Yeah, 2 of whom I know. It's one of those. Yeah.
Cookie or something.
I had a couple of good runs at the Leicester Comedy Festival, and the show got nominated for best show there. And it was like, yeah, I'll put a preview in Leicester. Leicester seems to be loving me this year. No, they're like, we're not buying tickets to that. But I've sold a lot of tickets on the Isle of Wight, so you know.
There you go.
Yeah, go figure.
There's no.
There's absolutely no way. I had a thing the other day because I just released a special on YouTube.
That's right, which everyone should check out. And can Alex or can one of the mods please put the link in the chat so everyone can watch that?
Yeah, do watch it. But there's some, because the circumstances of recording that were in between lockdowns, so it's a best of, but it's a best of up to 2021. So there's some stuff that hadn't been in a show yet that's in this new show that's also in the best of. So you kind of, if you watch the best of, you'll get a couple of tracks from the quote unquote new album. So I had a thing happen which I had not anticipated on Thursday night. I said to this guy in the front row, I was like, hey man, do you like Jeff Bezos? And basically everyone says no. The bit relies on people saying no. Now I've done that fucking 500 times now, and everyone says no because it's an uber cunt. So you're like, yeah, it's
so
guaranteed.
So uniquely unlikable.
Yeah, absolutely. So then I then go on the offensive against the person going no, and go really pro Bezos, with, as Alex Keeley said, whilst just showing just enough liberal leg to let everyone know they're safe. So I went into this bit which in the best of it leads into that Amazon Prime bit that I used to do, which it's not, but the lead-on's into the same, but it's in kind of a different thing. So I said to this guy, do you like Jeff Bezos? And he went, I've seen your show on YouTube, mate. I'm not playing this game with you.
That's even better than what I thought was going to happen, which was just he liked Jeff Bezos.
Oh yeah, I've had like one of those, like 2 of those, and then you just go yeah, and just lean into it, but just that, like, I'm not playing, and then the whole audience just went, oh, what's this? And I was like, you're a naughty boy, spoiling things for the rest of the class.
Oh no!
It's a great answer though. It's nice. That's the double-edged sword of fans. It's like, fuck, you actually watch my stuff. Damn it.
Oh, I don't think I've ever told this on the show or to anybody ever, but so before I was a comic, I was a shitty die-hard comedy fan.
Okay.
But go back to when I'm like 18, 19, I was really, really, really just naive and silly, but a big fan of comedy. And I was a big fan of one comic in particular who I think I went to see him live so many times, considering how little he was performing live in my part of the world. And his name is he's Neil Delamere. I was a huge fan of Neil Delamere when I was a kid.
Right. Yeah.
This is the worst thing ever. since I do comedy, I think about this now and I'm just like, that's horrific. But at the time, I knew his shows verbatim, like so much.
Yeah.
So I went to see him live. I'm sat in the front row, and I remember him seeing me mouthing his set along with him.
Amazing.
You know what's wild is for a musician, that's the dream. That's what they want.
Yeah.
Exactly what they want. That's all they've ever wanted. It's for people in the front row to be like,
I saw.
And for us, it's like, this person's gonna murder me. This is how I die.
There was a charity gig in Edinburgh in I think it was like 2012. No, it must have been earlier than that. It was 2010 because it was the year that Stuart Lee did this gig called Stubilee. It was his 25 years on the Fringe. It was at the Festival Theatre. It was the launch of his book. So a couple of nights later, and he was only doing like a couple of shows. A couple of nights later, he was doing this charity benefit gig, doing a short stop. And he came out and he started doing gear. And this guy started yelling out the punchlines to the stuff. And Stuart Lee just stopped. He's like, you know what, mate? This is actually some of the newest material here any comics on the bill do tonight. And I think you probably heard it 2 nights ago at my Stubilee gig. But you've ruined this now for everyone, so we're not doing it anymore. So I'm just going to put the microphone in the stand, and we're going to stand here for the rest of my time. And he just put it in, and fucking eyeballed this guy. And then for like 8 minutes of silence, and then he just walked off. And Kitson came on to MC, and he just looked back and went, I can't believe you haven't left. And he was like, have you any concept of how much everybody loves that man so much that they were prepared to have 8 minutes of silence with him just staring at you? It's just fucking incredible.
And nobody were people like heckling the guy in the crowd, or was there any, or were they just like silent? Just solidarity.
It was solidarity with Stu. It's like
crazy.
Yeah, him just standing there, just.
That's so funny.
Oh,
I'm getting. Kit-Kat's question.
I'm getting some excellent. Sorry, I was just nice. I'm in the chat box, and thank you very much for everyone loving my Stuart Lee impression.
Yeah, a lot of support there. A lot of support.
I have met Neil since then, but thankfully he does not remember me.
And you haven't told him? You haven't drunkenly reminded him?
Why has he not been on? Why has he not been on the show?
Yeah, that's a good question. We need Neil Delamere on here.
I can never tell him that.
You don't have to tell him. We'll just have him on the show, and then I'll tell him.
Oh no, it's so embarrassing.
I mean, I remember I had it with this is like small stakes, but I remember there's this singer-songwriter in Montreal, Corinne. Shit, I can't remember her last name right now, but she was awesome. She just released this little 4-song EP. She came in and did an open mic that I used to run, and I loved it. So I bought the album off her, and I listened to it all the time. And then she came in to another show, and I was there with a girl I was seeing at the time, and she was just playing these like beautiful little songs, and I was kind of like singing along quietly to myself. And the girl that I was seeing looked over, and she was like, "Do you know the fucking words to this open mic guitarist songs?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm a fan. Shut the fuck up. Leave me alone." It was just, you feel embarrassed when you know something that much. I mean, comedy's worse. Like you need to see less comedy. But other than that, it was.
You want to be like those people who see 9 hours of comedy in a day at an all-day festival, and they have their little tote bags. And they come in and they go, and they stare at you.
Yeah. The ones that get excited about comics that only comics have heard of. Yeah. The ones that like before like Delightful Sausage blew up, and they're like, "I'm a huge Amy Gledhill fan," and it's like, I know she's funny. Why do you know she's funny?
There's
need a
people
fucking
at the
life.
Mac Comedy Fest with like their bum bags and homemade Josie Long t-shirts, being like,
Yeah.
"I'm a fan." It's like, yeah, we know.
Okay,
Like, yeah,
I wasn't that bad.
Oh no. God, like you can't see as a music fan. When I go to music gigs, those people annoy the shit out of me. And then in comedy rooms, I view them as the necessary sort of economic element of keeping festivals
They're
going.
the foundation.
Yeah.
They are.
They are
the
a
only
foundation.
reason
They're
the
not.
Leicester Comedy Festival exists. That's
Yeah, but most of them don't. Most of them don't laugh, but they're like, I know what Stuart Lee's kids are called, and you're like, yes.
That's weird. It's a weird thing to volunteer as information to a stranger.
Yeah,
but thank you.
Yeah.
Ashley, can you bring up Beardy Noise's comment real quick?
Which one? Oh,
There
I
we
hooked
go.
up with a
Beardy Noise-
super hot guy today, and he invited me to his next comedy show. We are
That is
gonna
a
need that name.
nightmare. That is a nightmare. I need to know who that comic is. He's definitely bad if he's super hot, especially by Beardy Noise standards, because
that's kinda
Beardy
how
Noise
that works.
fucks. That's if Beardy Noise is saying he's super hot, this dude is bad at comedy.
Yeah.
Where does Beardy Noise hail from?
London, I think.
You know, I don't know. He's British. He's UK, but I
Yeah,
honestly
it's
don't know where he's
UK
from.
based.
Based in
Yeah.
London, I think. Yes, Beardy Noise. We're gonna need that name.
Oh wow, you're going to the show? This dude fucks as well. Man, that guy must have been good because is he Australian by yeah, I was born in London on a canal boat. Okay, so he's not from the UK and I'm an asshole.
But he's been watching the stream since the start.
Yes, he has. He's our resident sex expert. We bring him on to talk
Sex
about sex toys
expert.
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's our guy.
he works in sex toys.
I
will say I will admit that I'm very much missing out on. I know I'm going to the Fringe, but I feel really I have so much FOMO about the fact that I'm not doing a show. I've never done a show before, and I was meant to do my first one in 2020, and now it's in the bin. So I know there's one there. I just cannot write a fucking joke to save my life at the moment.
You'll do it. There's no need to lament this year, particularly the huge backlog crush of newcomers and things this year. There's going to be so many disappointed little faces when the award nomination comes out. They're going to be, can't we have 10 nominees this year because of because of the? No, there are 5. Welcome to the Thunderdome.
Well, you say that they've expanded it in the past. We'll
see. I mean, you could put a crisp £50 note on what the list is now.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
No,
I feel like I know somebody who's going to get nominated for newcomer anyway.
Yeah,
right,
sure. This is less
Garrett.
inside baseball and more up baseholes, assholes.
And I'm not
Garrett,
in
can
the
you
know on
WhatsApp me
this.
those? Because I'm
sure.
not in the private chat right now because I'm not signed into StreamYard. But if you
well,
could,
nothing's happening in the private chat. It's dead.
Oh,
as a
actually,
doorknob,
can I use it? I can, can't I? Oh, I
You
can.
can use
Yeah,
it.
can you just put it on the private chat for me, please? I would
My
love to
guess
know
is this guy.
your guesses. Oh, Alex Watson saying Chloe Pet's Sakisia. Chloe Pet's is very funny,
Sakisa's
so I could
great.
see that.
Yeah,
I haven't
I
seen
could see
Sakisa in a
Chloe
while, but she was bad when I saw her. But I'm glad to hear she got better.
I'm going to say I wish them all well, and I think in many
Absolutely,
ways
of
they've all already won. And just taking part is the competition, and I wish every single one of them well.
Ashley, that's a good shout. That's a good shout.
Yeah, I think he will be on the nominations anyway.
I mean, honestly, I
Yeah.
haven't seen Sakisia in 5 years, so I have no sense of where she's.
He's a very, very, very funny man, but his poster looks like an NHS advert for testicular cancer awareness.
I agree with
People
you.
get such bad fucking posters. I
It
do
is
not.
so, like-
Troggies, can you do me a favor and every time you see a shitty poster, just post it in the Discord because I want to see all of them. Like
I feel
I am
phys-
obsessed
I
with
feel
bad posters.
assaulted by one particular person's poster this year.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just the worst. I hate it. I hate it so much. I'm gonna put his name in the chat. Like
I've never heard of that
Oh.
person.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
neither have I.
nor should you
Danny
have.
Danny
Like,
Ward's
look at
got a
his poster.
deliberately awful poster that he did himself, and it's all like out of crayons and cut out, and it's really funny.
And I love Danny, and I hate that poster, and I get like maybe it's like silly, but also it's bad. Like it's a bad poster.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Danny is like one of the most criminally underrated people I've ever worked with. Like he is so funny, and his
Such a
writing is
killer.
incredible. Have you seen his bit? It's online, so anyone in the chat, you can go and look this up. I think it's on YouTube or one of the many platforms. But it's from his NM show a couple of years ago about how he won the Amused Moose Award back in 2014 or something, and he got an email from Amused Moose suggesting that he enter the award again, and they had in the thing they're going, it can do wondrous things for your career, and then they have a list of people who've won it, and the year he won it, they just deleted the thing, and he was like, so they sent me an email saying the wondrous thing is it, but they won't even admit that I won the award. They've scrubbed my name from the thing, being like, that was an error. And then he like shows a picture of the award because he was like, I know I won it. I still use it to hang my car keys off because it's like the ugliest award. It's a silver moose.
Who is, by the way, for Amused Moose, not smiling. Just looks like an angry ass moose. I remember John was a finalist in that and lost to a musical act.
Oh,
Is
he
that
would not
right?
have enjoyed that.
Yeah, John was a finalist for the Amused Moose 6 years ago.
Right.
Yeah, lost out. What's her name?
award
I mean, it'll be documented. It was Jess something. She sings a
Right.
lot. She's like, yeah, I can't remember her last name, but no, I wasn't gonna say her name, but like if someone looks up the winners, it's in there.
Well, this year you can't enter that competition if you have ever done a run at the Soho Theatre or have an agent.
Interesting.
It is
Amazing.
interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's quite good.
Because it has been sort of positioning itself as sort of like the Lidl Comedy Awards for a few years. That's the space it's in because nobody quite knows what it is.
Sure.
It's the Choco Krispies to the Cocoa Pops of the...
Yeah, there's a monkey, but to quote Christopher MacArthur Boyd, it's sadder.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
such a great bit. That is just, it's canonical. Like,
he's phenomenal.
He makes me laugh.
It's a shame he's such a combative, unpleasant person and horrible to spend time with.
Yeah, so mean,
very
so
mean.
Yeah.
Cruel even. I was just sent a truly horrific poster by Comedy Club for Kids. It is
sure
awful. And thank you for that. Please post them in the Discord so everyone can share.
What? Sorry, the chat. The last comment in the chat. No.
Yeah, Hills used to play Jen Satellite. That is a fact. That is a fact. That's
I don't know either of those people.
I didn't know that.
Did you not know
that?
Is that the
is that
one
what-
industry thing that I knew before Garrett Millerick? Is
that why he's so like cross?
That's why they worked. Yeah, they dated for a while. I think she was his like booking agent or something for a little. Remember when Hills used to sort of represent people?
No.
Yeah, she used to represent Sadowitz, and then they dated for a while, and that's you know when you occasionally will just like picture people having sex. That's the funniest one to me. That's always the funniest to me is him yelling, and her just being stern and disappointed. I think that's the notes she gives mid-sex are crushing.
I just got that poster from Comedy Club for Kids as well, and I know that person, dislike that person, and it's a terrible photo, poster, all of it, really, really poor.
Right. Great stuff. Some of the posters. Someone gave me a flyer on the Royal Mile 2 years ago, and it just said, had the picture of the person, and it looked like it had been done on Word, and then it said the one thing to be like, come and see this was that they had been a quarter finalist in the Leicester Square New Comedian of the Year, which in that stage of that competition, there are the runners and riders there must be reaching up to nearly 1,000 of the worst people in London.
Really bad. Truly
Yeah.
awful.
That competition, I mean, it's got like 16 semi-finals because, you know, they don't know what a semi-final is, but the quarterfinal stage,
4 months to get through it.
Yeah. But like, Jesus, if you didn't get past the quarterfinals of that, and I was like, okay. And then I flipped the flyer over on the other side, just blank. So did someone explain this to you? Like, and it wasn't like a Ben Target thing. Be like, well, that's a very clever marketing thing. It's like, nah, it's just fuck it. Do you want anything on the back? What would I put on the back? I've already sold it on the front. It's got my name, this awful picture of me that was clearly taken on a phone, and then this gleaming credit. There'll be a fucking queue down the block. What am I going to tell them what the show's about? No.
And I have a because I lived through it, so I could never afford to pay someone to design my posters for me. So I designed all my posters myself, except for my first hour where a guy did it for free. But so as a result, like the first poster for Versus the Audience is terrible.
Yes.
Really bad. And then it got like fine. It was a good poster. It was a nice, silly, clean, simple thing. But the first one is fucking horrific. And so like when I see people, it's like, okay, fine. But then sometimes you talk to them and they're like, yeah, no, I got someone to design my poster. It cost me like £300. And then you see it and it's like, they literally used Microsoft Paint.
Yeah.
And hate
and
you,
not in a fun way.
I think they hate you. I think they did this out of spite. And you have such a low sense of what anything good is that you didn't even think to change it. Or you're too British to complain, which is also possible.
There was a poster that someone did for Red's show a couple of years ago where he showed me it after they sent it to him, and he was like, this feels like a personal attack. And I was like, yeah. I was like, I agree with you. He was like, sending this is a message of some kind. this is a brutal and unpleasant thing telling me that I am not a liked person by this designer. And I was like, yeah, I have to agree. So you had to just be like, no, thank you, and not like do a redraft. I think he just like went, we'll just get someone else to do it because there's something going on here.
Someone's mad at me. That's how some of these read. I think
for ages though, I screen grabbed the what they'd done to his face, and that was what came up on full screen on my phone when he rang me.
What did they do to his face?
It was fucking insane.
That's amazing. Oh no! I mean, the one that I put in the private chat, that's a poster this year, and they got somebody that I know who's a designer, like really, really talented designer, to do this poster for them, and it's just the most offensive image. But the thing is that it's like an animated version of them. But they would have had to have used like a reference photo, and I just feel so bad for the person designing that they had to look at the photographic version of this picture.
Which you said you put in the private chat? Oh, is that that person? Oh, okay, yeah. Can you bring up? So I put up the first version of the Versus the Audience poster. So that's the first one that I made.
It's not terrible.
It's not terrible. It's not. I mean, like in the graphic design Olympics of the Fringe, you know, we've been through that phase. At least it looks fun. There are so many of them that look like. And again, this is something Red said. We were walking down the street in Soho, and there was one of those posters for a Soho theatre show. You know, in the window, and it was a comedy show that everyone was raving about, and the picture was just fucking awful. And Red just looks and goes, this just looks like someone who'd ruin a dinner party.
Yeah,
and he was like, yeah. And you're sort of looking at it going, why the fuck does anyone want to go and see an hour in that person's company? They look like, you know, they're an angry town councillor. I know everyone kind of went through a phase of doing the kind of the "what am I like" facial expression, you know, or the hand growing out of the head and all that. But then we went into this like, I think I described it in a show once because I was mocking doing it on my own poster as like people looking to be elected the leaders of revolutions that nobody asked for. Just like it's clown summer camp and we're all very, very serious and we've got some feelings. And we're going to change some stuff with words.
Things
rather
will
than
never be the same.
Yeah, rather than, hey, have you been at work all day and would like a release from the hell that is our society? We provide that for an hour, which is all the poster should say, really. Like,
yeah,
we're going to take
provide that.
Yeah, we're going to take an hour of your life and throw it in the bin with gay abandon.
The idea of being like, whenever I see those, so I just brought up the one that I ended up using, which is like now the current. So that one's just clean. It's the first one I use, so it's like the proportions are a little bit better now, but they're like that one's just a nice, clean, silly image. Names there, it all works fine. But the difference between the loud orange and brown fucking nonsense that I put up before and just this is like fucking crazy. But the number of like posters that I see where you get like, if you don't know how off-putting this fucking picture is, then you are the worst person to talk to at a party. And that's a guarantee because you have no self-awareness. Like, if this is the image you will put out, imagine the things that just come out of your fucking mouth. Like, why would I want to spend any time with you?
A lot of there's a trend with posters this year. There are a couple of really good trends coming along with posters this year. A lot of them look like bad magic shows, like Darren Brown type shows. There are a lot of newcomers posters where you're looking at it and they're like going, are you gonna like David Blaine or something? But it doesn't look like comedy. It looks like it's like this is an illusion show. And then there are there's a great load of them of women in block colored power suits doing like bold stances in front of colors. And through no fault of their own, who could have predicted this? But I'd say about 60% of female comics going to Edinburgh this year now have publicity shots that look like the recent shots of Liz Truss that have just been, girl boss poster. But like Liz Truss is now doing all these like things for Sunday Times things. It's like, and everyone's like, she's the new Margaret Thatcher. So about 60% of women have just gone to the fringe this year, and it's not their fault. They had to sort it back in January. But the girl boss poster, because the women, a lot of female comics are entering. I think we're entering the girls Russell phase. You know, when the guys had that it was all the Russells and it was a thing. There is a flavor of that coming in, which is really nice to see.
Well, that was like because Abigail's poster is that. Right. I haven't seen a lot of posters yet, but Abigail's, I remember like seeing it and being like, there's like a Legally Blonde vibe to this. The colors are really bright and engaging. They work really well together.
She purposely worked in the colors from Legally Blonde.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's like because the colors are fucking great and they stand out in a way that are like they're bright but they're not jarring, and it'll work on a wall or on a thing. Like you have to look at that poster. It's a great poster.
It's a really good poster.
It's really very funny that everyone's doing that.
Yeah. I mean, like
she's referencing a film poster from like 2004. Whereas everyone else is gonna. But like it's great. I
cannot say shit because of this. Like,
yay! There you go. You went for the goth version. Well, you know, I want to see that background in that background.
You're only technically smiling.
Wait. Well, I'm only technically smiling.
That's very funny.
This audience has been caught
I love it
under a table at school.
Bring it back up for a second. I mean, the show could be called Why So Serious, but
couldn't it?
I love that. Like, so what's the funny? All you can see on that logo is just funny ? Like that's the thing that pops up third.
It's the So You Think You're Funny logo.
So You Think You're Funny, but the way that it has it is like, so I see the thing in order. I see your face, I see the name of the show, and then I just see funny ?
Yeah, it's do you know what though? I fucking loved this. This was my 2020 poster that never happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
well, what happened there, but it worked out kind of okay in the end, was that the person I hired to do the photograph assumed they were doing the poster as well, and I didn't know how to tell them that that wasn't the intention, but it still turned out to be kind of exactly what I wanted anyway.
Oh, that's good.
But then
Actually-
last year, for the one work in progress show that I did, I designed the poster myself. And that was this one, which I think was actually relatively okay. It wasn't bad.
Oh, I remember that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of happy enough with that. And
Brighter
for one
colors.
show.
You
Actually,
look like
I've
a
just
human
watched-
being.
I just WhatsApped you a couple of pictures, if you wouldn't mind throwing them up, so I can demonstrate to the people in the stream
Sure.
exactly what I mean. Yeah,
I will do that.
these are.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I would watch the shit out of this show. I think this show is going to be. I think this is going to be an important work. And the Baby Grand, it would be on at around like 8 o'clock. Very much tipped for best newcomer. Ashley, go. Can you get them?
I'm sorry. It's just going to take me a minute to bring it up on WhatsApp.
Oh, okay.
I didn't have it open on my computer.
I am Garrett. Where's your? Oh, I don't like Milo's poster this year. He's going to be incredible, but I don't like that poster.
Milo.
I'm scrolling through your Twitter feed. Oh, there it is. Yeah. There's Garrett's.
Oh, my poster.
Yeah.
Your poster's great.
Yeah. Chris Lindsay. My poster is ripped off an album cover. Can you tell which one?
Again.
Yeah.
No.
It's usually it's not a Beach Boys reference. It's not a Beach Boys reference at all. It's just an image I've always liked. So I nicked it.
That's great.
It's Don McLean, American Pie, the album cover.
Yeah, with the American flag.
It's got the American flag on the thumb. Yeah,
that's right. That's
so
great.
I nicked that as a basic concept. I use it for posters. I've got quite a lot of books of album covers and film posters and stuff. I usually just have a flip through a couple of those and steal something.
I end up.
I have this picture now.
A lot of what I do is I steal color schemes from ads. So like the last poster that I did for Dumb But Fair, which was my last hour 2019, that was the color scheme for a Japanese Ferrari ad.
Right.
And I remember seeing it and being like, those colors are fucking awesome. And so I spent weeks just adjusting and trying to make the proportions right and making it similar to the actual thing in terms of like what's most, what's next, what's small. But yeah, I absolutely steal all that shit. 100%.
Yeah. That's the thing to do. So this is Liz Truss. This is the future Prime Minister of Great Britain doing her show Truss Issues at the Baby Grand at 9:20, not 16th.
That's so funny.
What is she like? You know? What is she like?
She's like, I'm gonna sort some things out. But yeah,
I've got an idea, but
you chuck a green. Yeah, look at this shit.
That's just a Harry Styles fucking promo shot.
Everyone's like great artists steal, but it is unfortunate. Yeah, the Prime Minister of Great Britain and Northern Ireland is about to really.
Isn't it so
That's
funny that
Grace Campbell's 2022 poster? Yeah, probably. Good old Grace Campbell. I hope she's in the running for just some sort of award. That would be great. It's good stuff done well.
Good stuff, and it's clean.
It's clean. It is clean. Have we explained to the people what this is? Should we?
I think it's a fun thing that people can take home with them.
Yeah. Okay. So a number of years ago, myself and I'm sure they've been on the stream before, Pierre Novelli and Ahir Shah and Finn Taylor, we were out working in doing a festival in a far-flung part of the world. And the situation there was that because the comedy scene was so small, all of the people who did comedy were friends. And within that small friendship group, there was a huge spread of talent, in that one or two were very talented, and then one or two were not good. And then you had the sort of gradient in between there. But they all had to be nice to each other because, you know, the community was so small. They couldn't sort of do that thing that I guess would happen in America or places where they've got a bigger scene where people sort of move up the ranks together and stuff. Yeah, so they were all just, you know, solid friends and nice people and everything. But we'd be at the back of the room watching people just really fucking suck. But you couldn't say, because their friends were all around, you couldn't say that this is fucking awful. So we came up with like a call and response thing where if we thought something was awful, we'd say it's just good stuff done well. And then if the other person agreed that it was dog shit, they'd say, and it's clean.
Yeah.
And that was kind of you'd get through these fucking shows that went on for ages. You'd be like, people were laughing, they're like, oh God, Davey's great. And you're like, are you cracked? Have you had a head injury recently? What the fuck is wrong with you? And you'd have to sort of turn around to someone you trust and be like, it's just good stuff done well. They go, and it's clean.
Yeah.
That's excellent. I love a code. I love a decent code.
Last night, I ran into a guy that I met when I was like a year into stand-up, and he started doing stand-up then. And so I've known him for fucking ever in Montreal, and he just happened to be in Toronto outside a venue that's near my house. So I just went over and talked to him for a little while, and I was like, what's the scene like in Montreal right now? And he said, it's weird, like everyone gets along, but because of that, no one's honest with each other, so everybody sucks.
Right.
It's like, yeah.
I think Cork is a little bit like that as well, to be honest.
You need brutality in these things.
You need it. The two guys that I like attached my wagon to when I very first started were guys called Sean Hogan and Steven Spinola, who were both fucking dicks. And the three of us would boo each other while we were on stage, or after the show, we'd be like, what was that dog shit, you fucking hack? Like, be fucking brutal. And as a result, we all got better because it was out of friendship. It was never like, I want to see you fail. It was always, you're better than this. Why on earth are you using this fucking bullshit? And I never understood it. And that's part of why, like, I mean, I think we talked about it on here before, but part of the reason that I moved out of the open mics is because Garrett and Pierre fucking bullied me one night and said, stop doing open mics and work other shows, because you need those friends. You need people that'll yell at you when you're being an idiot and doing your thing wrong.
Did you ever hear? Were you there with Will Duggan?
Was it
before you left? Okay, so Will Duggan is a very nice man.
Love a Will Duggan story.
Yeah.
Did you? We have a Will Duggan tidbit for you after you finish the story.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So me and Pierre had lunch with Will in a few years back when he'd first moved to London, and so he'd moved from Manchester, and Will was trying to break into the London scene, and he was basically saying like London's crap, like it's really bad, it's so much worse than up north, all the gigs are terrible. And we were like, okay. So we asked him a few sort of pertinent questions like, where are you getting your gigs from? And he was like, well, the gig list on the London Comedy Forum. And we were like, oh. So he went through, and he'd been for like
you
or any of the professional comedians he knew. He just got this thing. And we were just weeping, laughing. He was going down this list of like, you've never done like the chuckle bin in Streatham. We were like, no, I'd never even heard of it. And then we said to him, like, we were like, you were in Funs and Games, man. You got nominated for the Perrier. Like, did it occur to you that having moved to London and gigging for 6 months, you'd never bumped into anyone you'd ever met working professionally anywhere else? And he was just like, I just thought it was because London was so big.
That's so cute.
But these shows don't have fucking audiences. and and we just couldn't. Oh god, we couldn't catch our breath. We were just fucking crying, laughing for ages. If you go on my Instagram and scroll down, I don't post a lot on Instagram, but if you scroll down for a picture of Will Duggan about 2 years ago, it's a picture that I took of his face the minute he realized for 6 months he had been wasting his time.
I'm gonna have to find this picture.
It's fucking great. It's so funny.
That's so fucking funny.
And it was a real
That's so
moment because he just hadn't fucking bothered to ask.
Love that. I love that because he's a very industrious person. He's not like lazy at all. He will do the research.
No.
Do the work. But the idea that
he's been putting a
stopped
shift
at
in
the open mic is fucking hilarious. That he didn't even look at. So like part of how I research what shows to do when I show up to a new city or when I'm looking for new stuff is I look at the Twitter and Instagram feeds of people that I respect.
Yeah.
And I go, where are they gigging? And then I take notes of that, and then I figure out who the contacts are for that. Because that's the easiest place to start. It's like, where are the people that I want to gig with gigging with? And the fact that he didn't do that, he just went onto a fucking Facebook group and took the document off it is so silly.
It's so funny.
And it
so
took him
sweet and naive.
It took him so long to. If we hadn't have had, I hate to think, if we hadn't have had lunch on that day, because he was working so hard. I know. I'd just be like, oh, it's such a beautifully northern thing as well. They just come down and go, no, I'm right. London's awful. I just shared the most important picture. I just shared the most important picture from Garrett's Instagram page. Oh yeah. Which is obviously our day at Monkey World. Yeah, we went to Monkey World. That was a hell of a day. Alex Hall, friend of the show. Yeah, we ended up at Monkey World because we were in Bestival, a horrible festival on the Isle of Wight, and it was yeah, that's Will Duggan.
So sad. He's about to cry.
I love the caption as well that this is the first day of the rest of Will Duggan's life.
Yeah.
Well, we have also given Will Duggan a first day of the rest of his life.
Oh my god.
Oh really?
Have you heard what he's doing?
Have you talked to him recently?
Yeah, but what?
That's a no.
So yeah, no, you would know immediately what this is. So we were doing a show. Will's a regular guest on the show, friend of the show, and
probably our most regular guest, to be fair.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I can't remember how it happened. But
I was not here, therefore there was
Ashley
no
was away.
supervising body.
That's right.
That's why it happened.
Will offered. He was very drunk.
Offered
to get a tattoo of a Batman bed, which has been a recurring theme in the show, is Batman beds.
Oh, I saw this on Twitter. Yeah.
And so then we did a fundraising stream for it, and we easily raised enough money. It took no time. It took about 90 minutes. He set the bar so low, 270 pounds. He said, if you can raise 270 pounds, I will get a tattoo of a Batman bed. We said, you're an idiot, but done. That's a verbal contract. So on August, is it 18th, 16th? 12th. On August 12th, Garrett, if you want to text Will and maybe hang out with him for the day, you can watch him get a tattoo of a Batman bed with the number plate, Paul, because originally we raised the money to buy a Batman bed for Paul Byrne. And, he added Paul to the license plate to make it less
salvageable.
Yeah, more salvageable.
Yeah.
Because him and Paul weren't even really good friends. They were very much just
hang on, dog. 2 seconds.
Okay, right enough.
So
this is why someone in the chat is asking me if I want a tattoo. I can answer that question definitively. No, thank you.
What if we raised 270 pounds?
Oh well, surely the artwork on the Batman bed tattoo is going to cost somewhere in that order anyway.
I mean, he said he found someone that'll do it for like 115, but I don't think that's possible. I think he's going to end up paying some of his own money.
It might be possible, but I don't think it's going to be a good Batman bed. It'd be one of those things for the rest of his life. And we're like, what the fuck is that on you? Oh, it's a Batman bed. It doesn't really look like a Batman bed. Like, why have you got a Batman bed? Well, we were all locked up for a couple of years. Telling your kids, and this thing came along. It was called Twitch. And what was
Yeah.
it? It was like podcast versus. Did you ever make a radio show with your friends when you were a kid? It was like that, but like weirdly people watched it. It was
Yeah.
like a video chat that people watched. Like, why? Christ knows. And on that, like
then he just pulls up his shirt. It's just a huge chest piece.
Oh God.
It's so, and we're like, how do you feel? He's like, well, my dad and my fiance both told me that I'm an idiot. And we said, yeah, for sure. But they also said you agreed to it, so now you have to do it. It's like, man, those are good, surrounded by good, honest
this
people.
is going to be on his back.
We don't know where it's going to be. He was going to be on his foot, but he's moved it since. But it's been a couple different spots now. And he was going to get it on the back of his thigh, but that was when it was just a Batman bed. But now that it's going to be Paul on it, I said, you can't sit on it. It can't be on your ass. It's got to be somewhere more respectful. So he's trying to figure out exactly where it's going to be.
Paul wouldn't like that. I mean,
but what I like is like Paul would think it's even that much funnier that it's someone who like he wasn't that close with. That makes it even funnier that it's happening. And I think only because it's Paul, we're fine with that. But because Paul would absolutely be heckling him the whole time he got this fucking. I like to think Paul's ghost will be heckling him in the ether while he gets this goddamn tattoo. But that's I think that this is probably our biggest accomplishment so far as a stream.
Sure.
Is because we raised money to buy a Batman bed. Great.
Sure.
We raised money to buy an LED hat that turned out to be a scam. Fantastic.
I called it. I said it was a scam before we bought it.
You did, but you think everything's a scam.
And
then
I'm
we bought
right every single time.
And then we bought. I was away for this, but we bought a jacuzzi for John's testicles. It's called the Testicuzzi. We raised money for that.
Great.
But the tattoo, I think, is really.
You guys are making some fucking coin out of this stream, right?
We only raise the cost, and that's it. We refuse.
Yeah.
It's daft, is what it is.
It's so stupid.
Oh yeah.
So this is the last stream before the Fringe because Ashley's going to be teching and John's going to be doing shows every day, so we're not going to be doing that. Garrett, which Fringe is this for you? This has got to be over 10.
I've been going to the Fringe for 20 years.
20 fucking years you've been doing this.
Yeah. Not as a comedian. I went to my first one as a student in 2003 when I was 19.
So you know both worlds. You've been and worked it. So we've got a nice contingent of our viewers that are all going to go and like meet up and go to shows together, which is amazing. I fucking love that.
Okay.
What's a tip
yelling stuff about tattoo beds?
Oh yeah, there's going to be some inside jokes that are definitely yelled at.
Yeah.
But what's your tip? What's your Fringe tip? What do they need to know going in?
Okay, one of the best things you can do at the Fringe is support American franchise restaurants because McDonald's, Pizza Hut, they are not allowed to put their prices up due to it being the Fringe. Most local businesses will try and screw you. And I think particularly
that's a fact.
Yeah, and I think particularly because they've had a couple of years off, everyone's going to be gouging everybody. So you want to eat at Subway, McDonald's, Pizza Hut, any huge faceless conglomerate that has an outlet in Edinburgh that isn't legally allowed to bend you over and ruin your weekend. Give them your business. If you go in anywhere and the menus are all covered up by a new sign, avoid those places because they're gouging you. That's my tip. Hey,
Correct.
John's here.
John's
here.
Hi guys.
Just in time for the end. What's up,
I know.
man?
I just wanted to pop in and say I'm sorry that we'll be missing you all in August. Please come see our shows in the following order: Garrett first, then me. There's a secret, and then go see Ashley, who will be by the end of the Fringe putting on a show. I've decided.
I just got a match on Bumble. What are we thinking? Is it going to be left or right?
What is Bumble?
Hang on.
Dating app.
Oh, okay.
It's left.
What is Bumble like the TikTok to Tinder's Twitter?
No, Bumble is the dating app where women have to message first.
Yeah. Oh, I got two. They're both not for me though. Life is hard sometimes, you know.
How did you match with them if they're not for you?
No,
Yeah.
so they swiped on me, and
Oh, I see.
they came up.
That's
yeah.
right.
You just bin them off based on a photograph.
Yeah, that's what it's about, buddy. I've never been so fucking judgmental in my goddamn life. It's awesome.
I sat next to a guy
We
on
both
an
have- we all
airplane.
have that
Cruel
side
about
too.
other human beings. Sorry.
Yeah, I sat next to a guy who was doing Tinder on an aircraft, and I had to move seats. I found it so fucking stressful. He was just there going, nah, and the speed with which he was doing it was like, these are human beings. They have interests. You have no idea. You might get on and just like, yeah. And also he was basically just gunning for someone to fuck when he landed, and you're just like,
yeah, travel mode, baby. Oh,
Cool.
John's gone.
John is
That's
gone.
a wrap. Train
Oh.
coverage.
Train.
Beardy Noise says, Chris, have you considered just going gay? You know what? After the divorce, I tried watching some gay porn just to double check, and I was a little disappointed that it did nothing for me. I was a
Sure.
little upset. On the other
Yeah.
hand, trans women, pretty into that. So
well, there you go.
we'll see what happens there. You know?
Yeah.
I have no type. I have no limitations. Come
Mm.
at me.
Yeah, go get them. Go get them. Beardy Noise,
There
would
you
you
go,
like me
guys.
to curate you a playlist? Following Beardy Noise on Twitter is weird because it's the most thirst traps I've ever seen in my life, and none of them are his. They're all ones that he's liked, and so the Twitter algorithm is recommending them to me.
Sure.
Yeah, it's quite a
I-
while.
What a life you guys lead. I'm a middle-aged dad. I live in the suburbs. I'm married.
Mhm.
I have a Lego rocket.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
I collect Beach Boys records.
You're so wholesome.
I have coasters and stuff. You know, signed Brian Wilson posters behind me. You know, house plants.
Nice. Yeah.
I don't know of this swiping business.
I
Carrie,
don't do
honest-
it. I don't do it at all. I hate it. It makes me sad. I cannot.
It's
do it.
weird, and I'm too late to it.
I
because it
met
didn't
my
exist.
wife. I met my wife in a discotheque.
Exactly.
I did.
It didn't exist when I met Sadaf, and now that I'm no longer with Sadaf, and I tried it just because it's like, well, I'll engage in the culture. Absolute nightmare.
It's
Really
awful.
not good.
I hate it.
It's like it
I went on
plays to
one-
all the worst aspects of my personality.
Yeah.
Like, it's like they personally picked all the worst parts of me and gone, hey, work with this. I'm just gonna
It
gonna
just
meet
makes
people
me
in real life
sad.
again.
It's
But
awful.
that's the internet. That's the whole of the
Mhm.
internet. Like
Yeah.
people are going, you shouldn't shop at Amazon, and you're like, yeah, but also
But
it's good. innit?
so easy.
It'll be here
But,
tomorrow.
but online dating is not good.
No,
But it'll
well, I
be
know.
here tomorrow, Ashley.
Yeah,
It'll
yeah,
be
yeah,
here
yeah.
tomorrow.
That's
How
the
easy is
thing.
that?
And it's like just there's no recycling involved. It's just entirely disposable. You're taking a human being and you just
I
toss
went
them
on
over there, and they
one-
toss you over there.
I went on one Bumble date, and the guy's name was Horatio, and he had never heard a Hamlet reference before, and I just
Ashley,
went,
you're in a real glass house throwing stones situation right now, so I want you to check yourself
his
because
name is Horatio, and he'd never heard a reference before. The only references he'd had about his name were CSI Miami, and I was like, we're in different cultural spheres.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Your
but
friends,
also
sir, are
he-
Philistines.
He was deaf, right? And he spent the first 10 minutes of the date giving out about the fact that somebody had dragged their chair out really loudly. And I was like, why do you care? You're deaf.
He's
You
just
know what's
very
crazy?
empathetic.
You have told
No,
us that part of the story and never mentioned the Horatio part before. You've given out about his deafness in the past, but never.
But was he
his
wearing
cultural
hearing aids?
idiocy.
Was he wearing hearing
No.
aids? Because high pitched things could register.
No,
in...
he couldn't hear at all. He couldn't. He
I
couldn't
like
hear
the sound of
anything
Horatio. Why did you bin Horatio off? He sounds like somebody I could spend time with.
because he was an outright misogynist.
Why didn't you?
Exactly.
beat
That's why I just
Horatio
said I
up?
was
It's
getting
like-
that. I was getting that. I was like, we'd have some
He got
things to talk
really-
about.
He got really pissed off at me for buying my own drinks. Like
Oh, that
mentioned
was
it
that guy.
several times
Yeah, that's
throughout the
right.
date, and then texted me about it afterwards. And I wasn't like making a stand about buying my own drinks. It just happened to be easier because it was early after the first kind of lockdown period, and you had to
But
use
were-
the app thing.
But were you getting drinks on the app and not getting Horatio a drink?
He wasn't drinking. He had to drive home.
Great.
He
Okay.
was ordering glasses of water.
Right. Okay.
Great.
All round shit date.
So I have a question for what you guys said. So a friend of mine went on she's been on 2 dates with this guy. After
Yeah.
the second date, she got a thing in the mail that said, "Congratulations, you own a cheetah." Because this guy that she'd been on 2 dates with remembered that she said she loves cheetahs, and so sponsored like a cheetah. And we're trying to figure out if this is thoughtful or fucking weird.
It's both.
Okay.
It's really fucking weird, but in a dangerous way.
It's pretty
has
weird,
your
right?
address.
Yeah. Yeah, Beardy, that's cute, but also terrifying.
He has your address.
It's too much. It's too much.
Yeah, a friend of mine went on a date, and she was telling me, this was a couple of years ago, and she was like, the guy's gone full Richard Curtis, and it's just obviously like he's like, this is going to be fucking amazing. And it was like a private like champagne picnic at a zoo, and then picked up in like a stupid fucking nice car, and you know, like playing music that she said that she'd liked, and things like that. And yeah, it was something like that. Like she said something about a zoo had been mentioned or whatever. And
rom-coms have done as much damage as porn.
Yeah, but the level, she was like, the level of pressure to be like, I'm having fun. We just like, this is actually this is actually awful.
A first date literally needs to just be meet for a drink, whether that's a drink of coffee or alcohol or whatever. Just go for a drink.
Yeah.
One of the last
Talk,
dates I ever went
see if you have anything.
Yeah. One of the last dates I went on, I went out to meet this woman, and it was pre-swiping internet dating, the old romance one where you had to write a sort of Facebook profile and then exchange witticisms via letter, electronic mail, and then arrange to meet. So she arrived, and we had a glass of wine, and I wasn't really interested in her, but what I did want to do on that day, I wanted to drink 2 bottles of wine and smoke. That was kind of what I wanted to get done that evening. And I was living by myself at the time, and I was like, I don't want to do it in my flat. I will, but I don't want to, because that's the sort of thing, like you wake up the next morning, it's like, oh, I've got to unpack that because but I just really wanted to get fucking shit faced and smoke a lot of fags. And yeah, we did 1 glass of wine, and then I was like, do you want another glass of wine? And she was like, no, I think we should leave this here because I don't fancy you in a sexual way. And I was like, okay, fine. And I was just thinking, I was just like, the lack of manners in it was stunning. You points for being direct, but it was like, I don't fancy you in a sexual way either. Like all I required out of this was for you to sit there and talk while I drink this, so it doesn't look like a problem. That was all I wanted.
I'm trying to use you, and I would really appreciate it if you were more acquiescent to that.
I'm bored of all my friends.
That's brutal. I've been on.
You've only had first dates.
I've only had first dates.
Yeah.
One of them lasted 24 hours, though.
Okay. Okay.
What do you do on a 24-hour date?
What do you think you do?
Who's paying for that? Well, that's not a date, then, is it? I want to see a 24-hour date. You get whisked to Paris. No, that's not a date.
I don't know what it was, but it was great.
Right.
Oh God, there's a bug.
You're being punished for your sexual ways.
Yeah,
I think the worst, or like the most, not the. I haven't been on that many first dates because I didn't really date people. I mostly like met them and then we hung out and it was fine. But it was the actual like, hey, I'm gonna text you and we're gonna go on a date. It was this girl that used to drink at a bar that I worked at. I might have told this on the stream before, but and we got along, and she gave me her number at the end of the night, and so I texted her and we went out for a few beers, and it ended with us getting into like a full argument. Like voices were raised about whether or not life has purpose and meaning.
That's intense.
And I was very much on the no side of it, and she was very much on the like, but if it didn't have one, then like, what would be the point of like living? I can't imagine. And I was like, what an awful life if it does have a purpose. Why would you just want to walk on a fucking train track? And It's really got out of hand. I think beer influenced a lot of the volume,
Sure.
but
Right.
it was one of the weirdest. Like we walked out, like I paid for the drinks, and we walked out, and there was sort of a like, so you want to come back to my place on her part? And I was like, no, I'm still mad about the life thing.
But like angry sex, no.
I don't like angry sex. I'm not into that at all. I want sex to be fun. I have like fairly aggressive sex,
It can
but
be angry and fun.
I don't enjoy it. Anger doesn't turn me on at all. Anger's the opposite of horny for me. And a lot of other people, I get that it's like the best sex they've ever had, but my sex is already pretty aggressive, and
yeah,
so I don't like. I don't really.
I don't know.
It just does nothing for me. I want us to have
I actually
a really good
haven't
time.
had angry sex because I've never been in somebody's company long enough to disagree with them so much.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
But
have you tried arguing about the meaning of life after
I'll
6
give it a
beers
go.
that you didn't
I'll
realize
find
were
somebody-
8%? Have you ever
I'll
done
find
that?
somebody during the fringe and I'll give that a try. My
Yeah,
biggest
just get down
problem, I just fuck too many comedians as well.
Oh yeah, are you gonna fuck Colt during the fringe?
I'm
Cole
gonna
Cabana's gonna
try.
be up there.
I'm
Ashley's
gonna
gonna
try.
have sex with Cole Cabana. It's
Oh,
been
right.
are
we raising money for that on the stream? Is that... doing that. He's doing the wrestling show with John.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
I
then
love
the
him.
actual wrestling with Ashley.
Nice. Hey, he's always working. He's always working. Beautiful
Oh,
stuff.
dear.
Well, there wasn't
The
much
old Kansas
scatological
City
chat,
Royal.
but
very little poop this episode.
Yeah.
Garrett, what's your show and when and where is it?
it's a stand-up show and it's on in Edinburgh.
What's it called?
Oh,
Come on, Garrett.
Come on, buddy.
I'm
trying to move.
My
some
show
figures
is. Yeah, my show's called Just Trying to Help, and it's on the Monkey Barrel at 6:20, where all the cool kids are this year at the Monkey Barrel. John's there, Pierre's there.
True. I was looking at
Yeah,
the
it's a
lineup and
really
I was like, the Pleasants
good
must be
lineup.
fucking pissed because there's a
No,
lot.
Ryan's fine about it. It's no problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be good. And if you want to check out my my special on YouTube, as of the end of last year, it was all of my favorite bits from the last 3 years, and I recorded it in case we got locked up again, and I'd have that. So I really put my shoulder into that to be like, okay, if we're not allowed to do this for a bit, I want a kind of record of doing it. So I'm very proud of that, and it's nice to have it out. So if you want to watch that. You can watch it for free, and give it a thumbs up, which helps the algorithms.
Yeah, I definitely like it. I have, and subscribe to his channel as well because there'll be more stuff coming. I haven't watched the YouTube, especially because I've been watching stand-up and watching dramas lately, and I just haven't been in the headspace. But having seen all 3 shows that it's built out of, I guarantee it's fucking great. I guarantee it's amazing. So everybody watch it. Like,
there's nothing from Sunflower in it. Sunflower is its own thing, but there's
I would
stuff
say
from the year before.
Yeah, maybe from the first 15 minutes you might be able to pull stuff individually out, but for the most part, that's a show.
Yeah,
so,
I just didn't, and that's an album anyway, so it's just like that. That's out there if you want to listen to that. Cool. Yeah, that's all sorts of plugs: albums, YouTube specials, Edinburgh tickets. Thank you for coming.
Check them out on Conan. Watch them on Conan.
Yeah, you can watch me on Conan. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah,
in the old Americas.
I'm still so fucking mad that he stopped his show, because when you did it, I was like, oh, it's possible. and then he's like, I'm just not going to do this anymore. I was like, fuck.
Yeah, I got invited to do it a second time, and then the COVID thing happened, so it didn't happen. But it was great to have done it the once. But I know someone who was booked for it and had been out to the States practicing their set, and then in like December 2019. And they were supposed to be doing it in the spring, and then COVID happened, and then it all went.
Private chat. I need to know who that is. That's gonna. I need to have a name for that.
Oh sure.
That's
I think you told me this actually.
That's a heartbreaker.
Yeah, you told me that.
Oh man. Oh, he would have a particularly rough time with that as well. I can see him really getting into his head about it.
He did. Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
He was not pleased about it. But so yeah, I wasn't pleased about not being able to do it a second time. Gads. But yeah, it was really great to do it the once. It was very, very nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna be forever jealous of that because that's the one. Like I know that when you do it, thank you very much for following Richard is Raving. Welcome to Troggies. I got a couple friends that have recorded for Stephen Colbert.
Yeah.
And the way that he does it is all the stand-ups are recorded on the same day. He's not there. And then they just splice it in and out of the show. And so there's none of the magic of it. There's none of the making the host laugh, which is a big part of wanting to do the show. Like I remember you telling me you could hear Conan laughing while you were on stage.
Yeah, they cut to him. They cut to him in the middle of the set. They cut to him.
That's amazing, man. That's so
fucking
fucking cool.
It was cool. It was very, very cool, and he was extremely nice. And it was my agent was like, don't get used to this, and I was like, British TV is not like this.
Yeah,
it's like a dressing room with a buffet in it, and they got me a popcorn bucket with my name on it.
Nice.
And, it was fucking cool. And you were walking around this Hollywood sound studio with a guy in front of you with a radio going, talent moving. And you're like, yeah, fucking am, yeah.
That's fun. That's very fun.
That's something that like British and Canadian industry have in common. Where I was talking to a woman who writes for TV out here, and she sort of co-created a very popular sketch show in Canada. And we were outside having a smoke, and she goes, yeah, I was in LA and I was telling someone about what I did on this show. And the person just casually went, oh, if you'd done that here, you'd have a pool.
Yeah.
Like,
great. Apparently John Cleese was asked what he got paid for doing Faulty Towers by an American writer in the 70s, and he told him, and the guy laughed so much he fell off his chair and cracked his coccyx.
Oh shit.
Like so for like writing and starring in one of the most influential comedies all the time, couple of grand.
Wow.
Yeah. So like viewers, when you get upset or when a friend of yours is like, why'd they go to America? That's why. It's because we'd like to be paid for our work.
Yeah.
That's what we'd love the most.
Yeah.
Bit of money.
Yeah.
All right, guys. My laptop's saying it's gonna shut down, so I'm gonna.
Yeah, my dog is getting fussy, so I'm gonna have to go.
We've already run over. Garrett, thank you so much for coming on, man. It was great to have
Bye,
you.
Garrett.
Always a pleasure
Really
to
good
see both of you.
I'll
Goodbye,
see you
bye,
next
Some
everyone.
time in the fringe. Knock 'em dead,
Indeed.
bud.
Cheers, pal.
Be
Bye.
well. See ya. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. We're going to take a month off now, but we're going to record a Patreon episode soon, so there'll be a new Patreon episode up. And in the Discord, we're all going to be putting up just like short videos. Ashley and John are going to be talking to comics at the Fringe. I mean, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do, but I'll do something.
You'll do something.
I'll do something. And thanks so much for a great year. I think we'll probably start a new season in September, right? That makes sense.
Yeah,
taking a month off, season 3. Go
we don't
hang out
have
with
a
Ashley
specific
for the targets
date
that are there.
in September yet, but we'll just
No.
figure that out.
It'll depend. Everyone will need, Ashley and John will need a little break post Fringe, but it'll be early September. It'll be like first or second week of September. We'll be back. Have an amazing summer.
Yeah.
I'm gonna miss you,
Chris,
Ashley.
I'm gonna miss
miss
you.
John.
I'm
I'm gonna miss
gonna
all the
miss you so much.
troggies. But yeah, well, we'll meet up. We're still gonna do we'll do a Patreon episode or something.
We do our Patreon episodes, yeah. So if you're not already on the Patreon, if you still want to keep up with us, you can join the Patreon for at least the month of August. And you'll hear from us.
If you think names were named in the past ones, wait till the Edinburgh Fringe edition. There's going to be drunken breakdowns. There's going to be rude, because Ashley's teching, so there's going to be rude assholes that treat her like trash. There's going to be so
Except
many
I'm
names.
teching for somebody really lovely, actually. So that's
But you're still there's going to be demands.
There's going to be something. Yeah,
there's going to be
something.
demands.
Yeah.
If not from that person, venue wise.
Yeah.
Cool. Who are we rating? Let's find out. I got it open here. Only My Gun Is Huge is on.
Yeah, go for it.
Great. We're gonna rate My Gun Is Huge. We love you. Have an amazing summer. I can't turn on the old lady talking about sex. So
I can do that.
Thank you so much. I've started to get the raid together.
And that's all. Penis into her vagina. And that's all. That's called sexual intercourse. Some people call it having sex. So the man passes the sperm to the woman, and now his sperm is in her. Maybe you're wondering if a mistake could be made when having sexual intercourse. But that can't happen. Now, possibly you're saying to yourself, oh, I'll never do that. It's awful.
I don't know if it's actually ended yet.